Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Challenger League Season 10, Playday number 2. I'm your host for tonight, Guz. Joining alongside me is Raven. How you going, mate?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, having a look ahead, of course, to tonight. We're going to have Monkey Business up against Team 53. Just going to be the one matchup tonight, so it'll be two best of ones. Initial thoughts, Raven? What are we going to expect tonight?
Look, I definitely think this is going to be the dogfight of the Challenger League opening week for ANZ. I think two very lesser known teams. That being said, Monkey Business is actually a collection of a lot of players that people might recognize. Notably, Mist and OJ have had some experience in Pro League, so definitely a bit of a puggy feeling tonight. So I think it's going to be a bit of a scrappy affair, and it could be it could be a very interesting contest.
Interesting indeed. Well, let's have a look at those lineups for this evening. Both teams with a couple of notable names, as you mentioned. Monkey Business there, of course, Mist and OJ. Pretty notable names, Silent as well, probably well known in the community. Team 53, on the other hand, though, Raven, a little bit lesser known. 4 of their members actually, all 4 members except for Ghetto, ex-Xbox players. So, bit of experience on the other side. They've only recently sort of come back into the game as well. So, this is looking like it could be a really interesting matchup.
Definitely. And also, Team 53 do have a little bit of experience behind them. Some of these names a little bit recognizable. And Sphinx as well, he played with Skyfire, I believe, last Challenger League season. I believe it was that season. So he's had a bit of experience in Challenger League before. So definitely not particularly like fresh to the competitive scene. So definitely, I think this is going to be a close matchup.
Well, let's jump straight into the map veto, shall we? We'll see where we're playing for this first matchup of the evening. And straight off the board will be Cafe by Team 53, followed up by Consulate for Monkey Business. What are your thoughts on that as the initial picks, or initial bans rather?
Yeah, look, this veto phase is pretty hard to read into. Both teams, as we said, are relatively not well known, so not really sure which way this would go. I would expect that maybe it'll lean towards some maps where the teams will have some freedom to move around, something like that.
Yeah, well, let's keep rolling through them. Clubhouse and Coastline will be the next 2 off the board, so that's going to leave Border, Villa, and Bank left in play. If you were one of these teams, Raven, which of those 3 would you probably want to go to?
Look, I think a map like Border, for example, definitely favors that aggressive kind of pug style play. But to an extent, Bank Villa the same. So I think this has definitely gone in the favor of the fact that both these teams are relatively newly formed and a little bit puggy. So not too surprised that these are the 3 we've left with. Yeah, I think Bank for a solid roam might be a good choice.
Well, let's see what it will be. Team 53 taking Border off the board. Monkey Business taking Villa. So it will be Bank that we'll be playing on for this first best of 1. And as you mentioned, quite a big map. Both these teams probably going to have a little bit of a puggy style, so expecting a lot of aggression here. And this could be a really, really interesting matchup.
Yeah, it really could. And Bank is a very, because it's such a big map, there's definitely a lot of things that can go wrong, especially on that attack. You've got a lot of time management issues you have to deal with. And the roam can be really hectic on Bank, so it really promotes thorough droning on attack. So I definitely think that we might start to see this favor an attacker-sided affair. That being said, though, there is such a thing as being over-aggressive. So if these defensive holds are a little too aggressive, that might really favor the attacks. So it definitely could be a bit of a swings and roundabouts kind of match.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you mentioned about aggression. Monkey Business actually finishing second in the quals and seeing at least the clip that got them into Challenger League. They're not afraid to go aggressive, so we could well see this here on Bank, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think aggression is it's the name of the game tonight, guys.
Could well be. Well, we will be getting into the map just a short little bit of time. I guess we can talk briefly about Team 53 as well. They actually finished 5th in the quals, only just squeezed past PC 419. So going into this matchup purely based on qualifier results, you would have to probably favour Monkey Business. But their pug style could be to their detriment on a map like Bank, so we'll have to wait and see sort of how that plays out. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this sort of matches up the rest of the league. But we will be jumping into Bank for the first of the best of ones. Team 53 will be on the attack. Monkey Business will kick things off on the defensive. And they'll have the first ban Raven. What do you think we're going to see here?
I think on the attack, they're going to want to take off any operators that will help with a roam clear. That's Monkey Business, because they're probably going to want to roam pretty heavy. So maybe a Jackal ban, Nomad or Gridlock, I think, all very helpful bans for them. Or they're going to take off the Hard Breacher. Also a very helpful ban. Will definitely slow down the progress of an attack. Wanting to open those hatches without the Habana, it does make it a little bit more complicated. You will have to use like a Maverick, for example, if you still wish to use the Thermite.
One Hard Breach off the board, and it's actually going to be followed up by a second. So Team 53 taking Maverick off the board. Pretty impactful ban there. That's only going to leave Thermite left. He only has 2 of those charges as well. So really going to change up how I think this map will play out. It's going to make Basement super, super strong.
I think this also definitely pushes this in heavy favor of a defense. Having only a Thermite to do Hard Breach is going to make attacking lockers very difficult. But even the top floor sites, like as soon as you lose that Thermite, that's a lot of options off the board. So that's a really big play coming out of Team 53 to do that complementary Hard Breacher ban. Not too surprised here with the defense ban. So again, I think this is definitely going to stick it in favor of the defense. And we've got Monkey Business on defense in the first half. So I think that's definitely worked in their advantage.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision for Team 53 on the first attack to ban out that second Hard Breach. That could be a big oversight, or maybe it's a sign of the confidence that maybe they have on this map. Maybe they've prepared really well for it. Possibly they've scrimmed with 2 Hard Breaches off the board as well. So could be super interesting how this one plays out. I did see a quick Knock pick there at the start, but that will be taken off. Knock potentially being quite a good play here through that garage without many Hard Breaches on the board.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm seeing a Warden pick here, which is starting to become more common on Bank, actually. And it's something that maybe Monkey Business have been using more up their sleeve. Likely playing that blue stairs area with that shotgun. It's very strong because it's much harder to flush out. You can waste a lot of time. And traditionally, yeah, you would be trying to flash out that player to get them off the stairs. But in this instance, you can't even flash him out because he's immune to those flash grenades and even the smokes. So it's going to be a lot trickier for them to deal with that. On top of that, there's a lot of denial on the side of Monkey Business there in defense with those smoke canisters, probably a C4 on the Kaid, and they've also got the Evil Eyes. So it's definitely a lot for this attack to deal with. And with only one Hard Breacher, and they haven't even brought a Zofia, for example, that soft breach to take out things like Evil Eyes and other utility, I think they're really going to struggle with getting progress.
We'll have to wait and see as the attackers spawn into the map. Very intrigued to see how they're going to approach this site. Doesn't look like there's a big roam coming out from the side of Monkey Business. I wouldn't be surprised though if they try to capitalize on some of that offside aggression later in the round. They're going to have that confidence, I feel, to run around the map and go for picks early and try and throw Team 53 off the board, who are probably going to be a little bit more of a regimented team. I was speaking to Silent from Monkey Business a little bit earlier in the week and basically said that they've done no prep. They're just running rank strats, so Team 53 should be able to pick that apart if they're able to hold back that aggression and try not to get too distracted by some of the crazy stuff that Monkey are probably going to produce here.
Already seeing some very careful droning coming out of Team 53 here. It's almost a minute down and they're only just really realizing that they've got full map control besides that bottom floor. So they're going to have to start getting a little more progress because, again, they won't be able to open those open area admin hatches. They're going to have to be a little bit aggressive to flush out these positions. And so far, might start to see that start with this blue stairs clear. And again, that Warden there, really strong position to hold those stairs.
Warden incredibly situational, but could go big here, running the shotgun at the top of the stairs. If someone decides to peek, you should be able to kill him. Unfortunately, that MP will take out the Jaeger device, and now he has multiple members peeking the top of the stairs. He does get droned out as well, and that Nomad charge prevents him from going further up. He shoots it out, though. Still multiple members watching his exit here. Playing quite passive, though, here. Takes out the second drone. The grenade will come out. We saw a great nade from Unit Doggy last night. That one not so great, but he manages to get the kill either way. Just reaching 1 minute to go now, almost, and this defense has warded off a lot of time, so it's been going pretty well so far for Monkey Business.
Yeah, that being said, though, that was a really efficient clear of that blue stairs. They just went through the motions to clear that utility, and those nades, while not well placed, they did distract that Warden and pushed him down. So they're able to get in and clear him out. So now they're opening this wall. Time management not too bad, actually, with just under a minute to go. they can start baiting out these smokes, and only one C4 on the board. So this is definitely doable for an execute here. They're just going to have to hold their flanks and make sure that nobody can come up. We do see somebody playing aggressive on main stairs. It's OJ with a great peek as the Jaeger. He will take out the sledge, and now it's a 4v4 with about 30 seconds to go. It's going to be difficult here for this attack.
Ghetto still with the diffuser in hands, actually gets C4, that makes it a 3 versus 4, and the diffuser is down. Mist probably has a couple of grass grenades left to use still as OJ goes for the roam. They need to be mindful of this flank here as that Evil Eyes while watching the plan. Another smoke as well, so Team 53, they're going to have real troubles getting this plant down, and OJ could get the flank. He manages to get one and secure his double. Could well get another as they go for the plant. They drop the hatch and should be able to kill him. There we go, he gets the triple. It's left all in a 1 versus 4 now for the Thatcher. He's not going to have time, and there we go. Monkey Business taking round number 1.
That was a really great round from Monkey Business, and OJ in particular. He ended up with a triple kill in that round, and look, that was just a perfectly timed flank. He came up those main stairs and took out that sledge first, flanked around, was able to get 2 as he approached that skylight server area. Really well played from them, and again, that attack, they cleared it right, but they started to struggle with that utility on site. They did end up leaving that Evil Eye there completely untouched, which was just giving so much intel to that defense. So I think this is definitely going to be really difficult for the attack here, and going to the second floor, I don't think that'll really change.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Well, I guess the question I have for you is, Raven, with this double hard breach ban on the board and the game overall being defender-sided, how many rounds realistically do you think the attack could be able to get here? How many would you want heading into the half? Because from my point of view, I feel like it's going to be super challenging, and even if they manage to get 1 or 2 rounds, that could potentially be enough to get a draw or maybe even win the map.
Definitely. I think if I was on attack in this first half here, I'd almost be happy with 2 rounds. It's only a 2-round deficit going in that second half, and you've got to be backing yourself going into your defense half because, again, like with these bans, favoring defender-sided, I think going into your second half, you would definitely back yourself to be able to get a majority of those rounds. So I think if they get more than 2 rounds, so 3 rounds, for example, that's totally a win on attack. And I think for the defenders, if they lose more than 2 rounds, yeah, they're going to be pretty devastated with their defense half. So I think that's really where the critical point lies, is getting at least 2 rounds.
Ghetto once again on that thermite. Probably trying to open up these eastern walls here. That Monkey Business have actually opened up slightly. That can make it quite challenging to enter under the skylight there. They have to be mindful of that. Last round, Ghetto was taken out by that C4 during that plant phase that touched on earlier. Raven unable to really counter any of that denial utility, costing Team 53 in the end. Hopefully they can be a little bit more efficient in the roam clear this round, so they have some more time to deal with that later in the round as Nomad establishes the flank watch. I'm liking the setup here from Team 53 so far. Pretty efficient. They've got the angles covered. Hopefully they can get that wall open successfully and start spearheading in towards the site.
I agree. I think that's really good aggression from the Nomad pushing through stock nice and early to cut that rotate. Definitely a common peek out from janitors. I'd almost say a lobby push might be viable in this instance because it's going to be pretty difficult trying to open that wall. It looks like they're going for the impact trick, and a peek from OJ. OJ opening the round again. That's the pick onto the IQ, so that's a lot of utility that might not get spotted on site now. As I was saying, with the lobby push, I think it's going to be really difficult to open that wall in the first place. There's impact trick that could happen. They have to worry about all these peaks, so it's doable, but it's definitely going to be tricky. And they've got a soft wall there with an angle into the skylight. So it looks like Team 53 will push into it anyway. He does see one on side. He just misses those shots, though. He's very much aware the castle is in that position. And a nice shot onto Mist there, evening the man advantage there. So it's 4-4. Getting close to the final minute here. Johnster's entering through the lobby. It's probably going to flank up those main stairs. It's going to start to get a bit hectic here because Team 53 will have to get some picks on side. And as I say that, Insider, a nice shot onto Johnster.
That was in a 3 versus 4. OJ still on such an aggressive roam as Ghetto finally makes his way in towards stock. He's ended the diffuser though, over to the Nomad, closer towards site. Don't believe any of the walls have been opened just yet. This hole's creating so many issues as they look to maybe now try and get the wall, but they have about 40 seconds left on the board and still blindly firing shots in towards the side. We can see Evil Eyes as well, still gathering intel as to where these attackers are gathered. So the thermite charge will go off. Silent, I believe, they're on the castle. Will try an impact trick at the MP goes out. The impact trick unsuccessful and the wall will be opened. So now Team 53 should be able to execute on towards the site.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go. It's going to be a very hectic execute indeed, Guz. We've still got 4 defenders up and only 3 attackers. They're going to push in now. Looks like Sphinx is going deep with the Thatcher, but Insider and Neve just shut down, and all of a sudden it's up to Sphinx, but not to be. Monkey Business will close that round out. Another solid defense from them. Just really great delay, denial of just what the attackers want to do, and just getting their picks. It's a really strong start here from Monkey Business.
Yeah, the initial setup from Team 53 looking quite promising, had most of the angles covered, had the crosses set up, but unfortunately it appeared as if that soft wall remodeling on that main wall causing a lot of issues for them for the majority of that round. Many of those Team 53 members just blindly firing in towards side, seemingly not having much intel as to where those picks were. And then we saw OJ inside of lobby on that Jaeger, once again popping off and getting a nice kill onto the window, which put them at that early man disadvantage, and they were unable to recover from that. So Monkey Business not doing anything too crazy so far. I expected it to be a little bit more over aggressive compared to what it is so far, but it seems to be working, and Team 53 pretty erratic so far.
I think this is a great sign for Monkey Business going forward as well. They're definitely not playing that over-aggressive style, which we potentially expected. And this is really showing like a lot of discipline, and it seems to be playing into the strength of their team. It seems to be working really well for them so far. That being said, we've talked a lot about how much that ban phase has really favored the defenders. So I think what will really be a telling sign is how it goes on their attack. But so far, this defense has been fantastic. And seeing OJ onto the Vigil, I think is only going to cause more havoc for these attackers.
Yeah, Vigilant Operator that we don't see all that often in competitive, but when in play can cause quite a few issues. I don't believe it was a 6-pick either, so the attackers will be aware that a Vigil is potentially on the board. As OJ goes to the rat in towards back alley, could get an early pick, and he gets it onto Sphinx. That's a 4 versus 5 already. OJ once again putting his team in that early advantage. The smile in the chat goes out as well. Team 53 just having issues clearing this aggression early, and OJ making it pay.
That's a big kill as well. That's the Thatcher, and that's going to be even more difficult for these attackers to deal with utility, which is already stacking up against how they deal with their time management. So yeah, really big pick from OJ. Again, really starting the round strong for his team. That's 3 rounds in a row that OJ has had a big impact in that first half of the round. So big props to him. And now we're just going to have to see Team 53 be careful on this room clear. They are going to drone very steadily from the top up, bottom up, so that they can catch these roamers. This is just going to push up these main stairs, but they're going to have to move relatively swiftly because they will have to find some picks if they want a chance of getting a clean execute off.
If there's one side on this map where losing a Thatcher early isn't always detrimental to the round, it's probably this one, or open area. Definitely a recoverable round here for Team 53, but as you mentioned, they need to try and find a pick or two quite early here, as we're already steadily approaching the halfway point of this round, and nothing really coming out from the attackers yet to pressure these defenders in any way, shape, or form. It seems to be quite fluidly roaming around the map, both above and below, as a second frag will come out onto the Nomad just at that halfway point. So Team 53 really struggling here, and it looks like there's another defender inside of open area here. It's inside of both players, seemingly unaware of each other's positions, both picking different areas, but no, Zofia will get taken out. Where is the droning, boys? Where is the droning? Ghetto now will try and come in to clean him up, but looks like that Valkyrie already long gone. We'll go for the peek and actually lights him up. Ghetto unable to get that frag, and Team 53 on a massive back foot here from minutes ago.
Yeah, that could have been the effects of that Thatcher being lost early. Those mute jammers really preventing those drones going in. So potentially that is why they just thought, you know what, let's just go in and face check it. But did not work out at all. And now they're seeing themselves in a 2v5 disadvantage here. They've only got 45 seconds to go. OJ is still up on the top floor. I think this is really a round for the defense again. Silent picking up another frag. So 1v5. Really in difficult space here for Team 53. These attacks were never going to be easy, but they haven't looked particularly close besides that first round, maybe a little bit, but Monkey Business just running all over them at the moment.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it was Team 53 with that second offensive ban taking Maverick out. But to be completely honest, it doesn't really feel like Maverick being in play would have made much of a difference here as Monkey Business clean up that flawless round. It seems like Monkey Business just have really good control of the entirety of the map, giving Team 53 absolutely no breathing space at any time. The spawn peak as well coming out, putting them at that early disadvantage once again. and they just look to be a little bit flustered once that happens. They don't really know how to respond to that. They can't find that early pick or the refrag to try and even it out early, and it's really been costing them. As we'll head back to basement. Kavir on the board as well, so Monkey Business not lifting the foot at all on that aggression pedal.
Yeah, if they stick this cav, which doesn't look like they are, that would have been hell for Team 53. Because as you said, Monkey Business have just had fantastic control of the map for most of these rounds. It really is that roam that is causing havoc, especially those last 2 rounds in particular. And like you said, also with the Maverick being on, if he was on the board, this may not be going that much better for the attackers, because that's where they're struggling, is that room clear. That is something that actually the Maverick band to an extent can highlight, because without having that extra hard breacher to help you get to site, there's so much more emphasis on an efficient room clear. So without that happening early, it's putting Team 53 in a really difficult position for like a majority of the round.
Yeah, not only is it costing them rounds, but can't help but feel it would have some sort of emotional effect, particularly on those players getting picked off early. It's never good
10 seconds to insertion.
to die early, especially to a spawn peak. Never
5
favourable.
seconds to go.
Can definitely put a player in a negative mindset. So hopefully Team 53 can reset here.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Hopefully they can pick up at least 1 or 2 rounds here. They still have the opportunity to do that. Basement, unfortunately, probably been the hardest of all 3 of the main sites with that double hard breach ban, but they sort of shot themselves in the foot in that regard. So you'd like to think that they'd have some sort of process to attack this with just that thermite, because it was definitely calculated ban, or at least hopefully for their sake it was. Hasn't played off so far, but still time to recover.
Look, I think it's ironic too that actually out of the 3 rounds that we've seen so far, their best round probably was their Lockers attack. They had that beautiful clear of the server stairs. They opened that wall, gave themselves a minute to start baiting out utility. It actually wasn't too bad. It's kind of just gone downhill since then. So if we can see something similar out of them here, they might be able to back themselves to get this round. And as we were talking about earlier, if they can get 1 to 2 rounds, it's probably a bit of a win for the attack, considering the way the Veto stage went and how these rounds have played out. I think definitely if Team 53 can manage to get 2 of the next 3 rounds, they've got to be happy with that. And also they'll carry a lot of momentum into their second half. But big key there is they've got to clear this Warden out, and I think that's where they're going to start again, it looks like. Yeah, that's just starting to clear that utility. It's a great start, and they're going to have to start using these nades to try to clear it out. The smoke is there this time, though. This is a nice adaptation, a good change from Monkey Business here.
Missed backing it up there at the bottom of the blue stairs. Trying to push these attackers back and just eclipse the halfway point of the round. Team 53 need to start getting something going quick here. This Warden needs to be taken off the board. Seemed like a nade was being cooked there potentially. Warden, though, will scathe away with his life and gets the headshot there onto Johnster. So Sledge is off the board. It's going to make things more challenging as Team 53 once again losing that early pick, as the server hatch will be opened. That Nomad charge trying to block off the Warden will be unsuccessful, and he gets the pick. That's the double kill now for Novaics. To go in the round. I believe that hatch may have... Was it juggled or open? We can't quite tell, but it should potentially be flanked here if it was opened. It seems like they're still peeking this blue door, though, so maybe it hasn't been. And we could see a 3rd pick here from the Warden. Potentially 2 members of that attack still peeking this doorway. 45 seconds left on the board, and Team 53 once again looking completely flustered.
They really do. And OJ on this beautiful time flank again. And look, he's not over-aggressing. He's just going to chill at the main stairs for now. Actually, he's going to rotate through archives as I say that. But still, a really well-timed flank. And you've got to credit the Warden on server stairs, man. Like, these plays have been big. OJ finding that Thatcher. It's a 1v5. This could be a flawless round again for Monkey Business. Only 20 seconds to go here. It's Cameo on this Sophia all by himself. He's going to have to get a nasty ace clutch if he's going to win this round for his team. He finds the one on main stairs, but no kill there. The smoke will finish it off. And a great round from Monkey Business on the back of a fantastic play from the Warden on server stairs.
Another flawless round for Monkey Business. Bit of a bayonet missed to finish it off. Yeah, must have been playing some Call of Duty. But anyway, moving on. Monkey Business with that 4-round advantage, 4 rounds straight. Looking very confident so far. Nothing too crazy coming out. As you mentioned before, OJ, a perfectly timed flank. It wasn't overly aggressive. Successful in the end, and 53 just having no answer whatsoever in any of these rounds yet. Maybe Bank isn't a map that they're very proficient on. So maybe we could see that changed up for the next series. But I guess with the Challenger League being so short and these points being so valuable, you can't really be affording to drop maps as easily as this.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
I think
bombs.
flustered is a good word that you used earlier. I think that's what we're seeing out of Team 53 is they're a bit flustered with how to deal with these attacks. When things started going wrong for them when they tried to clear server stairs this time, they reverted to using stun grenades, but it's the warden on the stairs. I think that's a real sign of a flustered team not really thinking through how to clear that position out when it's going bad. I think also you could be on point about Bank maybe not being something they play, and maybe that's what the Maverick ban was about. They're like, okay, boys, we're not really that great at Bank, but let's do something really hectic. Let's ban this Maverick as well and try and make it hard for them. So that could be what's going on here. But at the end of the day, it was always going to go in the favor of the defense this first half. And we might see the same in the second half. We could be looking at a 6-6 draw. It's definitely something that's happened before when we've seen matches be so heavily defender-sided, but as we've said a few times now, this roam just being pretty hectic. OJ is just running rings around them. He's not being caught out as he comes up, and they're being punished for that.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Hopefully, for the sake of Team 53, OJ doesn't get that early pick once again. He is playing on the Jaeger, an operator that he's been extremely proficient with so far in this round. Get over it once again and go on that window. Needs to be mindful of that lobby flank that will likely come out from OJ late in the round. It's not already coming out already. Team 53 seemed to hold the flanks pretty well early last round. That sort of fell apart as they couldn't find their way in towards the site. Maybe we'll see something different here from the attack. As if that one and only hard breach on the board will be heading to those main walls once again. No lobby push on the board there. Raven, which you sort of touched on earlier. Maybe that could be the play with only one hard breach.
Yeah, and look, I think a really critical thing that happened last round was that they lost their Windows player really early. That was the IQ, and I think the Windows is a really critical play point if you're going to attack this successfully, based on like the operators that are coming here. Did see Capital find that Maestro nice and early, so that's a big anchor operator that is now off the board. So if they can clear these more aggressive players, it's definitely a doable execute on site.
There we go, 53 will get the second miss, almost started to even it out, but he misses the shot, and there we go. Double kill for the Capital. Be on the board, but OJ so dangerous. We'll get one back onto Ghetto. That leaves it in a 4 versus 2 scenario. Still a lot of time for Team 53, but Insider, he'll get us his first kill. There we go, it'll get evened out, but the flank from Insider manages to get 2, secures his triple, and now it's a 1 versus 1. The Zofia against the Valkyrie. The MPX, not the strongest weapon at range, so John Swift can keep it at medium to long range. Should be favoured here, particularly with that ACOG. But he doesn't seem to have the intel as to where Insider is. Not exactly sure where the drones are positioned. He could get flanked from the stairs here if Insider walked up. Seemingly not aware of that position, not expecting it, still thinking there's inside of that janitor's closet there. He thinks that the site might be taken, but Valkyrie is still below. He does have the diffuser in hand and could go for the plant, but Insider could prep that C4 from below, depending on if they have the intel. They have Valkyries, they have Evilized on the board. You'd hope that they have some intel as John Stan will go for the plant. The C4 comes down, and this should be the end of the round if Insider blows it. He waits though, and he runs away. Insider could have won that straight away. Tried to be a little bit cheeky, but it doesn't pay off, and now he needs to retake, and the Claymore will take him out. Team 53 manages to win the round. It shouldn't have been that close, but it was. Insider with the misplay. Finally, they'll get one on the board.
You hate to see it, guys. He had that round in the grasp if he just blew that C4 straight away. And in the end, he was punished by a Claymore. So, look, a good round from Team 53. Some early aggression. Finally got those picks and really got them in that strong position. But Insider almost turned that round inside out with that peek out of Janitors getting that double kill, bringing it to the 1v1. Close round, but finally we got one on the board for Team 53. And if they can get this next one, they're bringing momentum into their defense half. Definitely a comeback could be possible.
They will have to attack the second floor once again. Too bad in the last round. We saw Jander's closet there causing a couple of issues as Monkey Business managed to bring the round back pretty well in the end. As my dog is barking in the background, so I'll leave it up to you, Red.
Yeet. Yeah, so look, they're bringing in Castle again. I think it's a really helpful operator for this bomb site. And one thing they're going to have to be super careful of this time is the push through the hallways. They didn't really slow that down, which they did in previous rounds. And that's something they're going to have to get on top of, because that early aggression from Team 53 through those select positions to get those early picks were really important. So I think that's what the adaptation would be here for Monkey Business, is potentially to play it a little more aggressive, which is surprising to say, because coming into this game, we thought Monkey Business were definitely going to be playing this very aggressive. And so far, they've played it relatively disciplined.
Pretty similar lineup as well coming up from Team 53. Johnston once again setting up to go through lobby with that solo push that we've seen him do previously, as the rest of his team tries to gather control of the opposite side, the western side, or the eastern side rather, of this map near the skylight. The drones are going out to try and find out where these defenders are positioned, but both teams with a pretty similar lineup across the board in terms of positioning and operator selections. Ghetto has actually jumped off the thermite though, so he's going to be on the sledge instead this round. He's peeking above the main door to try and get across in towards the B bomb site. Doesn't look like he'll connect any shots as the rest of his team continue to push up now. And I'm liking these early phases from Team 53. This is where they look solid, but once something doesn't quite go their way, they seem to be pretty disjointed, and it's probably something they need to work on for the rest of the series.
Something that stalls them out is definitely the bane of them so far with these attacks. If they lose that first pick, or if there's a defender in a position that's a little bit difficult to clear, that is stalling them out, and that is definitely what's making their attacks more difficult than they need to be. So far though, this round is looking quite good. There's still some really great intel on the board here for the defenders though, and the defenders are very much aware of where these attackers are playing. So it's going to come down to these early or mid-round engagements now as we pass the halfway mark, to see who's going to open the round up. Still quite a few players on the windows here for Team 53, and that is the first pick going to Team 53, and OJ off the board. He's been a strong player for Monkey Business, and now he won't affect this round.
Johnston in a powerful position, but Insider's watching the stairs. He just misses the headshot as he gets slid up. Can't hit the frag as he tries to rotate. There was also another player out towards the car park rappel ghetto there on the ACOG, but Johnston will actually clean up the kill in the end. So for once, Team 53 have the man advantage. It's a 5-on-3. They need to be able to convert this round, but he gets taken out the top of the stairs. Silent actually will be taken out by Sphinx though. So it's effectively a 4 versus 2 now. The Maestro and the Smoke, two very strong anchor operators on the board. Mist will use one of his smoke grenades. He still has one left in his back pocket, and he could potentially get the kill here on the player in the hallway. He's going to think better of it though as he tries to cross the conference. Vagues, he's holding that cross and he manages to get the shot. That ult is so powerful. The refrag not there though, as Sphinx will clean him up, and it's now a 4-on-1. Missed with the flank. It won't be enough. Team 53 will finish the half at that 2-4 deficit.
Look, that's actually not bad. I think at the end of the day, a 2-4 is not so bad for these attackers in this climate right now, if you want to say it like that. I think Team 53 have done really well to claw it back. Those last 2 rounds were quite good from them. Really methodical, just cutting off rotates for these defenders and just shutting them down when they try to peek out. Potentially, funnily enough, Monkey Business may have played it a little too disciplined. I think the way Team 53 countered them was just closing them in and just making sure they get their picks. I think Monkey Business really needed to start to lash out a bit more, because that was working really well against Team 53 by destabilizing the starts of their attacks.
Yeah, we finally saw that solo aggression from Johnston on the Zofia start to pay dividends there. He was able to really dislodge those passive defenders in towards the side, and there were a lot of angles for Monkey Business to try and shut down, and they were unsuccessful in doing so. Interestingly enough though, Team 53, they're going above. Despite 2 hard breaches off the board, the second being their ban, they're not going to go to basement. I think that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think again they're just trying to throw things to disturb what Monkey Business are trying to do with their attacks. They're trying to be surprising. Whether this pays off, we'll have to wait and see. But again, their operator lineup, if you want to talk about interesting, they're bringing in Alibi. Which isn't super common for this bomb site. Probably bringing it for impacts. They got impacts on Legion, so maybe some emphasis on impact tricking those walls, because again, it's only 2 thermite breaches, and the Thatcher can't do anything to counter that. So if they can cover their windows quite well, OJ.
That's
Just cover that
interesting.
flank. From the run out from the windows in
Yeah,
case
the
they
run out
try to
from the
go back through the
windows, yeah.
dirt. Yeah, interesting.
I don't think I've seen anyone ever claymore that or successfully get a claymore kill there, so that would definitely be a first for me if he converts that kill. But I feel like the way Team 53 are playing, window jump outs are probably going to be at the bottom of their priority list at the moment.
Yeah, we're seeing some aggression from the Alibi playing straight up in stock here. The window's open. He's been droned out now, so they're very much aware that he's in this position. Johnson's actually just going to move up instead of retreating after being droned. So this could be make or break for Monkey Business on this attack. If they don't flush out this stock position, he could really punish them, and Silent is going to be the one in the line of fire. He's going to get into the top of the skylight stairwell. Oh, that's a nice shot from Mist as he repels to the top. Almost caught in that animation. It's a great start. And now Monkey Business can start working towards that skylight wall.
Pretty smart decision there, I think, for Silent to sort of fall back and not go for that peak if he had dropped off the board. Would have put Monkey Business to a real back foot here, but missed. Painful clean that up quite easily. So it is a 5 versus 4 scenario as we approach the halfway point of the round. OJ still on the top of the car park here. Stop any of those crosses that could come out from lobby. A couple of window repels as well. A lot of utility that Monkey definitely could utilize here to try and get that plant down. The wall is open and starting to prepare. It looks like Team 53, they're bracing for that plant though. They should be ready for it, and they have some pretty good utility on their side as well to try and deny it.
Time management's been really good here from Monkey Business. They do have a lot of time to deal with what's happening on site. We're starting to hear some smoke grenades coming out, but they have some strong positions with these windows. It's something that I started talking about in that last round about how strong these window positions are. And they've got the control here. OJ is down there in lobby, so he can prevent any lower flanks, as we do see the Legion drop below. So he might be trying to push towards the skylight or through to the lobby. Smoke is going to cause a bit of difficulty here, but he is taken out by OJ. It's a great shot from him. 3v5, and it looks like this execute is on. The plant is going down. OJ with another pick, so 2v5. It's not looking good for Team 53 here as we're about to enter post plant.
Ghetto manages to get an easy flank there onto Mist to try and bring this one back, but very hard site to take back. Those window repels as shown, so powerful, and Haim go left in a 1v4. He needs to clear 4 members and go for the defuse, but I feel like Monkey going to be pretty content here to just stay on those windows. At least one member there to try and shut it down, but he ends up getting shut down from the conference anyway. Monkey Business will secure round number 7 on the attack. I don't think they could have asked for a much better start.
Yeah, that was a really good attack. They shut down Team 53 quite well. I think maybe Team 53 a little too far too soon with that Alibi in stock. It was shut down pretty quick with a nice shot from Mist, gotta say. But yeah, that's definitely an anti-momentum. We saw Team 53 coming back with those couple of rounds in their attack half, and they would have been backing themselves coming in on that defense half. But here we see the first attack going to Monkey Business. They're up 5-2 now, so they're only 1 round away from at least securing a draw here.
For round number 8, we will be heading back downstairs. Team 53 opting to go to that side, and in my humble opinion, probably the site they should have gone to first, particularly with those 2 hard breach bands. But it's going to come out eventually. John Star as well on Vigil, so maybe trying to replicate some of that aggression that we saw from OJ. Team 53, it's not been the best of starts to the Challenger League campaign here. They were a little bit lucky in some respects to scrape in. I believe, if I'm correct, Monkey Business might actually be the reason that they are in and not PC419. I could be wrong, so someone feel free to correct me, but I believe that Monkey Business had a really good final play day, managed to take points away from PC419, and Team 53 scraped in by 10, so they're showing their dominance so far. Team 53 not favoured going into this Challenger League season, but looking to learn a lot. Maybe they're not going to learn much playing against Monkey Business because it seems like it's been pretty puggy so far, but they've been efficient, so I guess they can take that away from this matchup so far.
I think it's definitely important that a lot of these teams use this as good experience. It is Challenger League, and you know what? Like, it's actually developing to be a lot stronger. We're seeing teams like Homeless and Rhythm as quite strong teams in the Challenger League series. So I think these teams can get a lot of experience. One thing that I want to point out is on the defense here, we don't see any other denial for plant besides these smokes. They do have some intel with Evil Eyes. Johnson, oh, and a nice flank. He gets 2. He's shut down. But yeah, sorry, back to my point. There's not much denial besides the smokes here. There's no C4s, which is something you'd see a lot of, but it looks like it's not going to be needed. Hey, because this aggression is shutting down Monkey Business like no end, and OJ is all by himself now.
If there's one player left that you want on the board, it's probably OJ at the moment. Been playing very, very well so far. Not sure if he's been playing well enough to hit the 1 versus 4 here, but he's going to give it a red hot crack. He has a lot of time. Sophia as well, such a strong operator. That assault rifle can really do some damage. He actually has full utility on his lifeline as well. So he should be able to at least get a couple picks here and there. He takes out that camera at car park. Casual teabag as he knows his position has been revealed. His feet getting shot as well. So he's going to rotate now back towards lobby. It's looking like a pretty unwinnable scenario now as that timer continues to tick down. The diffuser also not in his hands. That's way off sight inside of open area. So he's going to elect to go down the stairs, go for frags, utilizing some of that lifeline utility as he gets peeked as well. Such a hard choke to take on, and all the members of Team 53 are watching that doorway, waiting, ready and waiting for him to peek that. It looks like we are going to see them slowly bring this one back, Raven.
Yeah, this has been a really good round for them. And you know what? I feel like they heard me talking about the fact they didn't bring denial. And they were like, you know what, Raven? You don't need to deny plant if they're all dead anyway. So we're just going to kill them. But OJ does find a pick. So 1v3 could be doable. Potatoes on the Jaeger, and the Jaeger will finish him off though. So look, a good round from Team 53 with some on the back of some really good aggression that worked out well for them. Monkey Business potentially not thorough enough on their droning with their room clear. So it's another round back for Team 53. Closing the gap here, it's 5-3.
If I was Monkey Business at the moment, I wouldn't be too concerned about losing that site though. Habana and Maverick, often very critical in gaining that control above the site. They have neither of those in play on this occasion. Solely relying on that thermite, which just puts you in a little bit of a shallow mindset, a little bit of a turtle mind strat in the beginning. You have to be so careful in how you babysit that thermite, and didn't pay dividends for them in that round. But I'm sure they can carry that confidence from that very first attack on that second floor across now to towers. Don't have as much of a reliance on hard breach on this site, if any, in some cases. So I think this will probably suit Monkey Fist, not Monkey Fist, Monkey Business quite well. Shout out to Monkey Fist for observing. Thank you.
Yeah, as somebody that's been around Monkey Fist a lot, I have struggled not saying Monkey Fist, so I totally empathize with you saying it. You're right though, I think of all the sites, this is not reliant on hard breach as much as the others. So this is definitely a round that is winnable for attackers, and it's going to be reliant on the defense playing potentially that little bit more aggressive off-site. They're bringing this dock, which I find quite interesting. They're probably going to try and play, I reckon it's going to be like open area or something, and try to play some long angles towards the elevator main stairs section and towards like kitchen or skylight stairs, which is where Ghetto is right now. So maybe he will camp right here and try get some picks on this roam. We do see Monkey Business bringing the Nomad as potentially an adaptation to the aggression we saw in the last round. I think really though, the last round was roamers that were already there, which Nomad potentially might not help with, but either way, this is some peace of mind on flank watch. Will definitely help a little bit with this roam clear.
30 seconds into this attacking phase now. Team 53 scattered all around the map here, trying to throw off the aggression of Monkey Business. OJ once again on top of this car park here, trying to find that early pick. We saw him find early picks on the defense. The attack not so much so far as the drone baiting out the Jaeger there.
Reloading.
Praz a little bit lucky to get away with his life, but he's going to continue to hold inside of this janitor's closet. A powerful position with that carbine as OJ still on top of the car park, and it looks like Monkey Business, they're struggling a little bit here to find that early pick compared to that defense. Actually, no, as I say that, there we go. Dunster will be off the board as that wall gets open and creates that distraction. So Monkey Business should look more comfortable now with that man advantage.
That was a really great shot down of that roamer. There's a lot of teamwork there. As you said, baiting out the Jaeger from the janitor area, but also having this player on the windows to shut down the rotate from the person in CEO as the wall got opened. really well played from the attack there. Look, they've got less than half the round though. They're going to have to start trying to find some stuff on site because we are seeing a bit of a total now from these defenders. And if that's not really cleared out a little bit more efficiently, this could be difficult. OJ is coming through the garage, so he's probably going to flank up main stairs and try to get some picks. But there is also still that long angle being played in open area by that dock.
Just eclipsing the 1 minute left to go point of the round. A lot of utility on the side here of the attack. They could get something going here. Silent with those exothermic charges. Should be able to get that main wall open pretty soon here in towards the A bomb side. And that's going to put the defenders such as Hamyo under a lot of pressure. He's probably going to be forced out of towers, and if not, he's going to be forced into a pretty tricky corner. A lot of crossfires out of that position.
Attackers have located a
30
bomb.
seconds left now, and hopefully the execute can come out nice and soon here for Monkey Business time. Not exactly on their side so far. Mist will get Sphinx out though, so that's a 3 versus 5. OJ follows it up onto Ghetto. That's 2 versus 5, but the diffuser will be dropped. Hamyo in that unpredictable position gets one, but he's already traded out. Now it's left all up to Praz. Now a 1 versus 3 as he gets the first. 10 seconds left and the plant going down. It's been smoked out though, and he doesn't have intel, so it's going to be challenging. He's going to get shot from 2 angles as well. There we go, Monkey Business will claim round number 9.
That round was almost won and lost by that Legion. He was right next to that hard wall. There was a hole open, albeit for like an aggressive peek, but he had 2 impacts in his pocket. He could have impact tricked that wall, and that could have really changed how that execute played out. So maybe a little bit of a misplay, unfortunate error from Hamio there on the Legion, but a really good attack nonetheless from Monkey Business. And they will take 6 now, which means they've secured a draw, and they're on match point.
At least secured some points on the board here tonight. And just quickly, I'd like to recorrect what I said earlier. It was actually PC419 that fell short against AMR. And that's how it sort of all culminated in PC419 not making it in by the 10 points. So it was Rhythm, aka AMR at the time, that kept them out in the qualifiers. So apologies for that earlier mistake, just getting all the teams mixed up. But we will move forward. Fortunate for PC419, just falling short. Having some pretty good form in the LPL scene. Unable to convert that though into Challenger League. Fortunate for them, but Team 53, they'll be grateful for the opportunity that they've been given. Hasn't worked out for them extremely well so far on map number 1 here of the Challenger League. But still a lot of maps to go, a lot of points on offer. If they're able to correct it. And still potential really for them to bring this back to a draw. They have the opportunity to get 3 straight defenses in a row. Not implausible with the bans on offer and the map that's being played. So as long as they can keep their head high here, could still walk away with the point.
Yeah, again, this video might not have really favored the way that Team 53 wanted it to go. Bank maybe not being a good map for them. Will be interesting to see what the next map is and how that plays out, and whether maybe that is something that's a bit more comfortable for them. But speaking of comfort, they've gone with Teller's Archives again, which I'm a little surprised about. It played out all right, but overwhelmingly, it was generally not in their favor. Potentially, they felt that it was more comfortable for them than CEO, which is their other available choice. So either way, they are going to repeat this here, and we'll see how they go. Silent was tagged up a little bit at the start there. A bit scary that this thermite might have been taken off the board. Again, though, hard breach not super critical on this attack. And we are seeing quite a roam from Team 53 here, setting up pretty spread out around the bomb site.
OJ loves playing on top of this car park here. I don't think he's yet to find a pick. He almost finds one there in towards the A side. I don't think he quite saw him though behind that desk, so unfortunately doesn't get the kill with Silent now. Already progressing up to the main wall to try and get that open above to try and clear out any roamers, potentially creating vertical angles down towards site. We saw some verticality come into play in the previous round. That was actually used by the attackers at the end to sort of cover that plant scenario. So they'll have to be mindful of that and try and cover any sort of above control so it doesn't get used against them here on match point.
Half the round played out now, and not a whole lot of engagements happening here, so we're going to have to start to see a little bit more coming out of the attackers. And I think if the defense right now could time either a roam or just branch out a little bit, they might not get so pinched on site. One thing that was really the bane of them in that last round was some of those angles from above when it was Praz on the Jaeger trying to retake. Those angles above really just cut him off. So that's definitely something you have to deal with, as Johnster is in the Skylight stairwell here, so he can potentially get a nice flank off. And Hamyo moving around a little bit on site, trying to potentially get a pick through those holes. Ghettovet also off site. There's actually quite a few off site here, so this is something that could really come back to bite Monkey Business if not dealt with. Swall behind Printer will go open, and that means potentially an execute could come out, and Silent steps from his death just there.
Surely he drones out the Jaeger as well. Jaeger peeking the wrong way. Manages to get one though onto OJ on the stairs. That's a nice peek, but Silent will retrade it as he comes around the corner. So that's now a 4-4 scenario. Still a bit of time to get that plant down, but it's counting down quickly. His defender's still offside as Capital will pick up one to give them the man advantage. Silent now tries to plant the diffuser. Johnster getting lit up from behind, needs to try and deny it. There's not much time, and Silent should be able to stick it. And there we go. Now it's a post-plant scenario for Team 53. They have the man disadvantage, not looking favourable. They could potentially get some control above here and in towards the lobby. Hamyo tries to initiate that, but can't find a pick. Inside, unfortunately, 1453 will find one though. Johnster off the board, and Ghettovet needs to try and bring this one back. He gets one down, but gets traded out. And Hamyo now needs to try and clutch this one out to keep his team's dream alive of getting a point, but it's not looking good. The diffuser ticking down, and Monkey Business, they will successfully claim map number 1.
A great map from Monkey Business in the end, and they really brought that attack back just then. I think it was really starting to lean a little bit towards the defense on that round, but it was a very clear attack, and once they got into sight, that plant went down pretty much uncontested. And considering the circumstances of attacking in general for this series right now, Monkey Business did a great job. A really strong map from them, and OJ in particular, definitely a standout, not just because of his frags, but the way he played, the timing of his flanks on defense, his roam clear, everything I think was really great, so props to him.
Quick look at the replays now. Thanks again to Monkey Fist for setting this up. Some pretty interesting plays early coming out from Monkey Business. This peak in particular, really summarising how aggressively Monkey Business tried to play it. Pretty calculated in the end, nothing too crazy. And Team 53, I think the best way to describe it, they just looked flustered. They didn't look comfortable really at any point on this map, and unable to recover anything really. It was a pretty one-sided affair in the end, and Monkey Business showing that they're here to mean business. It's so hard not to say Monkey Fist, honestly.
Yeah. Look, I think we definitely saw some great moments from Team 53. Potentially just being a new team with a little less exposure to a lot of the broader competitive scene. They got a lot to learn, and we saw some big instances where there was some misplays and misjudgment on their decisions. So I think a great example is one we saw before when they tried to clear that warden a second time on server stairs. They really struggled, and they reverted to stuns, which is totally ineffective, and it just ended up burning a lot of time, and they ended up getting destroyed on that re-roam. On top of that, there's some great gunplay that we saw from Monkey Business that Team 53 weren't really able to set up like good crossfires, for example, to deal with. And that's something that they'll definitely start to learn, especially if they really sink their teeth into the grind for Challenger League here. As I said, definitely some good moments from them, but Monkey Business looked quite strong on this map.
Yeah, Monkey Business, a team that's sort of just been stitched together last minute, proving that they could well be in for qualifying for Pro League. The top 2 teams at the end will be successful in making Pro League, of course. So maybe the dream will be alive. They could potentially make it. They did finish second in the quals, so they have form on their side. And look, I don't think they could have gotten off to a much better start.
Yeah, definitely a good start for them. And we talk about the nature of Monkey Business's formation. I was actually speaking to OJ yesterday, and he summed it up very well for me. He basically just said, our storyline is pretty straightforward. 3 words, want to play quals. And here they are in the Challenger League. So I think this is a great start from them. They're definitely making a statement with such a strong victory right off the bat. And I'm really curious to see how they're going to go in this second map.
Yeah, and I think Team 53 is sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum, just in terms of that lack of confidence. And we know that they are relatively newly formed team in the sense that they've all sort of taken a hiatus of sorts and come back to the game, whereas I feel mechanically maybe Monkey Business been playing over that sort of same period where Team 53 have been inactive, and it sort of paid dividends. We saw them frag out quite easily really against their opponents without too many crazy strategies or anything like that. So Team 53 probably need to go back to the drawing board and maybe we'll see a better performance in map number 2 here.
Yeah, definitely hoping to see a little bit more come out for them. I'm really curious to see what map we will get. But yeah, I think, again, some good moments from them. So I hope they can keep building on that. And I definitely want a competitive second map, that's for sure.
Well, we will be heading to a short break as the team set up for map number 2. So don't go anywhere. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Challenger League Season 10 in ANZ. This is Playday number 2, as we set up for map number 2 of this series between Team 53 and Monkey Business. Guys, this is Raven. What were your thoughts on map number 1? A pretty eventful affair.
Yeah, it was a pretty eventful affair. Definitely saw some good calculated aggression coming out of both teams, in fact, which is great to see. Definitely not the scrappy event that I would have expected. I think definitely, especially out of Monkey Business, we saw a lot more calculated aggression, which was really good. And I think that's a good sign for them moving forward in this Challenger League season. Really curious to see how this second map will start to pan out. I definitely want to see a little bit more from Team 53.
Well, the teams are eagerly awaiting to jump into map number 2. So let's look at the vetoes and see where we will be heading. First off the board will be Border and Cafe. Raven, where do you think we could end up today, or where do you think these teams would probably want to go?
I thought Border might have stuck a little bit longer, but I think, again, those final 3 maps that we saw last time, I think it was Bank, Border, Villa, those 3 maps seem to definitely favor the play style of these teams. So I think it could definitely go to one of those again. The fact that we just saw Bank, though, probably not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting.
Well, Coastline will be taken off the board by Monkey Business. Team 53 follows that up onto Clubhouse. So Consulate, Bank, and Villa all left on the board. Raven, any thoughts?
I definitely think I've seen before that Monkey Business are pretty strong on Consulate. So it could be that map for sure, but maybe Team 53 will ban that out. Not really sure. Yeah, Consulate, Villa. I think both will favor Monkey Business, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, Consulate taken off the board by Monkey Business, Bank followed up by Team 53. So for map number 2, we are going to be heading to Villa, the last remaining map in the veto pool. Any predictions heading into this one, Raven? We saw pretty strong performance from Monkey Fist on Bank. Do you think they'll be able to follow it up here?
Look, Monkey Business on Villa, I think, are going to be able to execute again a pretty good roam. I think a player like OJ, for example, was really important on the defense half for Monkey Business on Bank. I think that's the same story on Villa. There's so many ways to move around this map. So yeah, I'm leaning towards Monkey Business again.
Yeah, and Villa is quite defender-sided as well. Monkey Business starting on that side. So we could well see them get early momentum. And Team 53 will probably look a little bit frazzled, and that could potentially work against them in this matchup. So hopefully they can maintain control of the map, maintain control of the scoreboard a little bit better than they did on Bank, as it started to sort of slip away there as the rounds progressed. So not the best start for them, but they could well bring it back. Maybe they're just more proficient on Villa. It's so hard to sort of know where these teams sort of sit map-wise. Not a lot to go off in terms of recent history. So maybe Bank just isn't a great map for Team 53.
Yeah, and I think you definitely hit the nail on the head about containing roamers on this map. I think it's going to be super critical for Team 53. And you know what? We're going to find out very soon, because we are heading into Villa now. It's the second map in this series for the Challenger League second play day between Team 53 and Monkey Business. How about you guys? What do you think we might see out of this ban phase tonight?
Probably not expecting the double hard breach that we saw on Bank. That was the last remaining hard breach in the previous rounds. Probably expecting a flank watch here and maybe one hard breach. So Maverick will be off the board. That's the one hard breach. I'd probably expect it to be followed up by a Gridlock or a Nomad, but it actually was Team 53 that took off the second hard breach on the last map. So maybe they'll follow that up here. Could be super risky. It didn't really pay dividends for them on map number 1. I don't think they'll have the confidence to do it again, as we will shortly find out. It's going to be Habana off the board. So Team 53 have taken off a second hard breach 2 maps in a row. And I honestly feel as if the last map was potentially lost for them in the ban phase, but they followed it up here with very, very similar logic. And wow, Thermite's going to be the only hard breach once again on the board. And I think that's going to play even more into Monkey Business's hands here. And they're going to have a really nice, healthy lead going into the half.
I have to agree. I think comparing the 2 attack halves side by side, although we got to see less of Monkey Business's attacks, they definitely seem much more comfortable attacking without those hard breaches. So Team 53, you've got to hope, man, that they've got some strat plans for this double hard breach ban again. Them instigating it both times. So, look, I think Villa, you can get away a little bit with some of the lack of hard breach. Some sites that it will be difficult for, though, is if you're doing a statue attack, being able to open that master bedroom wall, going to be quite difficult. And again, if you're trying to do a games room plant or aviator plant, I should say, for this bomb site, which we are seeing Monkey Business go to first, being unable to open any of those walls in study will make it quite difficult because the defenders can play really comfortably on site. So yeah, this is going to be, again, quite a difficult attack half.
Yeah, and if the defenders play it quite safe there in towards
Attackers
study,
need to locate and
it's a
defuse
pretty
as many
easy
bombs as they can.
impact trick to hit to get that thermite off the wall. That's why teams would typically take that Habana at least to make some footholds down lower where the impact can't reach, but of course she's off the board. So the defense shouldn't have a whole lot of issues taking out these thermite charges. They also have the K there to potentially K trick the wall as well, mute potentially causing some disruption on top of that. So just on face value, it's looking like this should most definitely be a defender's round, unless Monkey Business over-aggress and do some silly stuff to try and stop them filtering through the doorways. I think they should be pretty safe in towards side, and I think the same could probably be said for Trophy if we head there next. Both sides so reliant on that hard breach, and with two of them off the board, it's so challenging for these attackers. So, like you mentioned earlier, I hope Team 53 have something up their sleeve here, or they could be sent home packing today with 0 points on the standings.
It's hard not to agree with what you just said, guys. And I think something we saw at the end of the attack half on Bank that was great from Team 53 was just a little more confidence and a little more aggression. And I think that's what they're going to have to do, because to Monkey Business just have so much going for them at the moment on this defense half, on this map particularly as well. So I think in order for that to be different, the attackers have to take it really into their hands. They're going to have to say, you know what, like, it doesn't matter what you've got set up or what you're trying to throw at us. We're going to smack it back and we're going to get the early picks. And I think that's super critical. So Team 53, so much pressure on this roam clear. I think at the start of this attack half, really important.
I almost get the impression that this could potentially play out with very minimal roams. In some sense,
Bomb located
Monkey
by
Business could probably just completely turtle onto the site and still be relatively safe with those hard breaches off the board and so much denial to stop that thermite charge going off. I mean, yes, they might be able to get a pick or two with the likes of OJ on the roam, but it's not overly critical, and Villa does often promote that sort of offside aggression to hold map control, but in this instance, I can't see that being as critical as it normally is.
For sure, and we're actually seeing pretty much exactly that. It looks like Monkey Business have decided to turtle back now. Though we did see a couple of roamers out early, but they've done a great job just shooting some drones, creating that pressure, and dropping back. Time management, not too bad from Team 53. They've got a bit over a minute, and if they can get this vault wall open, this will be a really, really great step for them. But this is potentially going to be not Mutrix, that's for sure. OJ does find a pick, though, on a roam. He's taken quite low, but again, OJ, he's just picking the timing perfectly and getting these picks on this roam, and he's not over aggressing. It's being played really well by him, and it's definitely causing a lot of issues for Team 53.
If I was one of the other teams in Challenger League at the moment watching this, I'd be a little bit scared of OJ. He seems to just be running around the map, absolutely destroying people. Sphinx finally shuts him down. He was low on HP anyway, and there we go. The refrag's there straight away, inside with a great pick. They've opened up that vault wall, a strategy that's become a little bit more popular recently. That can be reinforced late if they have a spare one as well. So they hold 90 in the meantime and then fall back late in the round. And talking about late in the round, there's not much time to go now as Capital tries to push up on that position. Insider will be dropped, and unfortunately that wall has not been reinforced. So that creates a really nice angle for Capital to peek through. Silent though will drop him, so it's now left up to Hamyo and Ghetto. Ghetto does have the diffuser in hand, and they both seem to be a little bit far apart here. They're going to try and push down the 90 hallway. The diffuser is dropped though by Mist, and Hamyo follows it up onto one. Can't get the second though, and he only has 5 seconds. He misses the second shot there in towards the bar, and this round all but over. Monkey Business rather should clean this one up. Hamyo gets one, but he can't get the second. The defenders will take round number 1. Apologies again for saying Monkey Fist. I don't know why I keep saying it. It's just stuck in my head.
You know, I think Monkey Fist is probably loving you for the free clout, man. But
well, he is observing again, so thank you, Monkey Fist, for helping us out.
He's doing a great job, and Monkey Business are also doing a great job. A really good defense from them, not overextending too much. OJ again on a fantastic roam, but you know what? He's just actually dropped it out of the server, and that's definitely not good for Monkey Business. They've called for a rehost, and we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. But a great round again, Monkey Business. They've just played it so well. They started on an aggressive roam. They had, I think it was almost 2 or 3 off site. They shot some drones and they turtled back. It's like you were saying, Guz, you can definitely get away with not roaming heavy on this map. You can actually turtle, and it worked well for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Defenders
2 hard breaches off the board on any map
by attackers.
is going to promote heavy site defense. We saw it on Bank. We only saw very passive roam coming up from AJ quite late in the rounds, and once again, he followed it up here on Villa. So Team 53 should be able to read into that and should be able to predict that. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the team on both occasions that's been on the attack first, so they've had that second attacking ban, and they've taken out the second hard breach both times. Yet, they don't seem to have a way to attack without that second hard breach. So it seems a little bit counterintuitive for them to be taking that off the board. I mean, Study is a really hard site to attack either way, but man, you've got to have something in the bank if you're going to be taking those operators off the board, and so far it's looked a little bit... They've looked a little bit sad and sorry for themselves, I feel.
Yeah, something that really affected them, or could have helped them, I should say, on that last attack was if they, even with just one Hibana slit in Study towards the games room, just to flush out or at least get an angle onto the person behind the bar or the guy that was standing on that pool table, that could have completely changed the round for Team 53. It's something that, yeah, this ban has really caused issues for them, and they've self-inflicted that. Like, they're the ones that have caused this issue for themselves.
Yeah, and I was talking to Team 53 pre-broadcast, and they were talking about the fact that they feel they're quite flexible in their defensive roles in particular. Maybe that isn't transferable over to attack, though, because it feels as if they're playing pretty stagnant roles, pretty similar operators throughout, not mixing up too much, occasionally mixing up who's playing who, but in terms of the operators themselves, it's been pretty similar, particularly on map number 1. So maybe they need to be a little bit more adaptable if they're going to risk it and go for the second hard breach ban, because that in itself is a risky play. You need to be able to back that up with risky adaptations throughout the rounds, and they just haven't done that. And Monkey Business, they've been able to read into that and shut it down pretty easily, which is, again, something that Silent was saying for their team. They feel as if the fact that they're more of a pug team allows them to be quite adaptable on the fly, because they're not sort of locked into any strategies that they've created. They feel like they just run around, they gun people down, and so far Team 53 just haven't had an answer.
Yeah, you're totally right. And look, I think it's really going to be a key thing for them now in this attack half. They've really got to get going with this adaptation. They've got to figure out what the key thing is for them to change these attacks. And I personally think that it's just that they need to be a little bit more confident with their clear, and maybe a little bit more thorough with their drones. They definitely, once the defenders dropped back, it definitely seemed like they took a bit of time to retake that map control with the defenders being clear. So I think maybe that comes down a little bit of time management, or potentially, again, confidence with their drones. So they can get back on top of that. I think it definitely could go their way. That attack wasn't necessarily awful. It was actually going all right. But another key thing is OJ and his roams. Just perfectly timed flanks.
Well, we will be heading back into Villa after that short rehost. It is 1-0 in favour of Monkey Business. They successfully defended AVG in round number 1. So now we'll likely now head over to Statutory, the second favoured bomb site on Villa, and it looks like that will be where we are heading. I'm liking this Pulse pick from Monkey Business as well, expecting some plays from below. Pulse is an operator that we see occasionally actually banned out in competitive Villa play. Not on this occasion though, as it's a pretty stock standard Echo and Mirror. And I feel like Team 53 have to be very wary of this pick. If they don't roam clear below, they're going to have a really hard time opening that wall, and if Thermite gets taken off the board, it's going to be basically impossible to win this round, provided that Monkey Business play it smart.
Yeah, this is definitely the site that's going to be really hard without the extra hard breaches. And even if you try and do a trophy push to compensate, that's not necessarily easy in itself. Like, there's a reason we don't see many teams try and take trophy, because it's still very much similar control. You still need to have master, and you have to take bathroom, and you have to be able to shut down the flank below before you can really take Astro. And then even then, once you're in Astro, that's a very sketchy position, because you can get shot from statue, or even trophy's an easy position to hold regardless. So it's not really a viable attack. So there's not too many alternatives on this bomb site. And if they can't get this wall open, which is very easily impact tricked at the moment, it's going to be a really difficult attack for them.
Ghetto will be critical in helping to secure this round. If he does get taken out, it's just going to be so impossible to filter through those choke points in towards Statutory and Astro on that side of the map. So many angles that you can be watched from. Basically impossible to cover them all at the same time. Monkey Business probably aware of that. If they can get that early pick and they're aware of it, they'll be able to play off that. You see OJ below roaming alongside the Pulse. And this is a dangerous combo, Raven. OJ playing so well thus far, and they might have some real issues clearing this out. And even if they do, it could waste a lot of time.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of drones going in to try and get these roamers, and if OJ is just shooting all these drones, if these attackers don't punish them and actually get these frags, that's really going to come back to haunt them later. We talked about the issues with intel potentially for the late round, and that could be exactly what's happening here. OJ just running around, even though he's been droned out with absolute no fear. And this is more drones just going in and trying to get these roamers, but his follow-up is just not quite quick enough. And now this IQ is finally pushing through to try and cut this frag, or cut this rotator, I should say. Oh, a nice shot from the Pulse. Saves his own life, and him and OJ will rotate away, and that is definitely a big L for the attack.
Yeah, the hardest counter for that Pulse is taken out. A nice frag there from Sphinx, I believe it was above, manages to drop the Cade on site, so they should be able to get the wall open provided it doesn't get denied from below. OJ rather, will drop Sphinx, and it's a 3-on-4 scenario. Main disadvantage on attack. So challenging to come back from. And then they have about a minute left to try and get something going. Johnstar still below inside of Sheets. As we see Pulse still trying to gather info inside of the wine cellar, the bottom part of the map here. Section of the map that isn't utilized often by players, often it is used for rotates. Instead though, the Pulse will just sit there, aware that he's pretty compromised inside of Sheets at the moment. As the rest of Team 53 now is starting to push in towards Bathroom and waiting for Monkey Business to peek into them, but looks like Monkey Business pretty contented sitting back and waiting for them to go through those choke points.
Yep, and this is the thing, is now Monkey Business, there is no onus of aggression on them. They can play super chill right now. This Pulse, he's been spotted, but those shots not landing. Finally, they do shut down the Pulse. The Zofia taken low, though. It is now a 2v3 with only 20 seconds to go, with one of them below as well. So Getavet is the only one actually up and on site. So Johnster is just going to have to leg it up these Astro stairs to try and get a pick. It's going to be a very hectic final 10 seconds as he gets spotted on that cam. They'll both enter through the Astro room. They will find one at that trophy rotator. There's a nice shot from Ghetto. 3v2 now. OJ with the refrag. Missed. Strong on the shotgun as a damning frag, and it wins the round for Monkey Business. Really great round for them. Again, controlling it with that roam.
Once again, great time management from Monkey Business. Team 53 just taking forever to clear out those aromas and forced late in the round through choke points once again and missed. So proficient on that shotgun. Basically open pickings for him. Just had to left click and the damage was done. We'll see the third bomb site now, the third favored, dining room and kitchen, come out from Monkey Business. And if there's one site with these bans that is winnable, it would probably have to be this one. A lot of potential for soft breach from above if Monkey Business decide to turtle onto the site. I think it's been interesting to see how they play it though. Maybe we'll see more aggression above, as they may be aware that that presence could be quite critical.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Absolutely, and look, it's going to have to be, again, a really strong room clear in this upstairs, because this is something that Monkey Business will probably hold quite strongly, is that upstairs control. It's super critical for defending this kitchen dining bomb site, and it's the thing that Team 53 have struggled with so much, is that room clear. So I really fear for them, and it's totally the changing point. It's really great to see them bring a gridlock though. I think this could be really a good change. It's going to help with that roam flanking that OJ has been executing so well. They can just place those track stingers down and they'll have those sound cues to worry about flank them, but also it can help them with the execute. So I think that's a good choice. Really keen to see how that adaptation does play out in this round.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you bring up flank watch. It's a talking point that we haven't really had to cover so far, on map number 1 at least, because Nomad was really only used to take out players playing from blue stairs, occasionally above as well, but didn't have a massive impact on how that map played out. Whereas on this occasion, Villa, a map where rotates can come out thick and fast, particularly all the way below as well, an area that isn't usually covered by attackers, so hopefully it can be utilised well here by Team 53. Their utility usage overall so far hasn't been terrible, it's just I haven't quite had that proficiency to take down the aggression, albeit relatively tame for the most part, that has been coming out from Monkey Business here. I do like Team 53's early take of the map though, Raven. Almost every occasion they're getting nice control early. I think it's just that conversion that they're lacking at the moment.
Yeah, and that pulse has been spotted out, but Raz just pushing it himself, so it's going to be the old intel, and he's not going to find the pick. Could have been a really devastating early pick if they did take up that pulse, but yeah, so far this is a really good approach. Almost half the round played, and they're going to have to start getting in and really just start to disturb those players on site, because that will make the execute easier. But you know what's going to make it harder? That's losing Johnstar. Nove will take him out. That's a opening pick again for Monkey Business on this roam, as OJ and the Legion are going to rotate around, and Team 53 just not really having a whole lot of answers for this.
That bottom 4 being utilised once again for such a strong roam, and absolutely no counter from Team 53. OJ still running around quite menacingly, and he's not doing anything too crazy or aggressive here. He's playing quite smart. He's playing around the utility to not give away sound clues as he makes his way in towards trophy room. He could potentially get one, and there we go. He gets it onto Praz. That's him off the board, and it's a 3 versus 5. There's still more members for him to find above. The pings are there as well to try and give him some intel. One's going to jump in towards the closet there as he hears the vault in. Claymore as well. He may not have seen it on the floor to his left. He has to be careful here. He's going to try and peek around. He hears the opponent to his left, and he gets the flick onto Sphinx and secures his double. And Team 53's attack once again just being unhinged, and that's going to be the thermite off the board. And Hamyo now left in a 1v5 scenario. 30 seconds on the board. The diffuser offside, and Monkey Business once again content to just sit back and wait for him to go into their crosshairs. And wow, they're looking so proficient here, taking the unfavored bomb site, the 3rd bomb site. It's going to bode well for them for the rest of the half.
Absolutely, this has been such a great round from them, and Team 53 are just not able to do anything. It's just been so difficult at every point for them. Hanyo will find a bit of an exit frag there, so to speak, and that was OJ, but it's not going to amount to anything, as Monkey Business will take that round quite strongly. Basically a flawless round, and it's looking very similar to how Bank played out, guys. We saw Monkey Business go up 3-0, and it was looking very much all in their favor at this point. So Team 53, it's definitely feeling very much like a rinse and repeat of this first map.
With the site unlock, Monkey Business will be able to head back to AVG. Very strong bomb site to defend on this map, coupled again with those bans that we keep harping on about. Can make it so challenging for Team 53, and they don't seem to have the answer. They took the Maverick off the board after seeing Habana banned, yet hasn't really played into their hands. It happened on map number 1 on Bank. Had no real answer. Once again, looking like they may have shot themselves in the foot here on map number 2. Pretty unfortunate. I think it would have been really interesting to see what this matchup may have been like without that second hard breach ban. Maybe Team 53 would have had a bit more confidence on these attacks and taken these gunfights against what looks like a relatively comfortable Monkey Business at the moment.
You have to wonder whether it is this hard breacher ban situation that's causing some issues. Maybe they're thinking too far ahead and they're putting too much emphasis on not losing a hard breacher, or maybe it's just pure lack of confidence in general, because I have to say, like, a lot of these attacks are falling apart before they really get to walls. It was that first round where definitely the Habana, or the lack of Maverick, definitely affected them. But that last round, for example, I don't think that really was too much of the issue. They definitely just looked a little too hesitant. They had that nice early map control, which we highlighted, but from that point on, it was still that roam that just came back to bite them. And that's just something they need to be able to control better. So far, it just doesn't seem like that they've got anything to do that. So Monkey Business definitely just absolutely in the driving seat for this map yet again. And we'll have to see some really thorough just drone preparation and just utilization in general, setting up drones with flanks, droning out the roamers, and acting on that. We saw in the second round that so many drones went in for that pulse and that Jaeger, but it just wasn't acted upon too quick.
Capital, they're getting lit up by friendly fire as well, so a bit of synergy possibly lacking from Team 53 here so far. They haven't quite gelled together by the looks of things. We know that they are a relatively recently formed team, bit of a hiatus that they have been coming back from. 4 of their players, the exception being Ghetto, are ex-Xbox players, so potentially they have played together on that platform, so maybe that will bode well for them. Synergy side, but just a little bit disconnected these attacks so far. And halfway through this round, they seem to just be lacking any sort of pressure on towards the site. That's allowing Monkey Business to play so comfortably, so passively in towards site. And they have the operators to support that. It looks like OJ, once again, will be on the roam as well. But it's nothing too crazy. He's not going for silly peaks or anything inside a spawn. He's just playing enough off site to cause issues for these attackers as they try and push in towards the site. Ghetto will try and breach in towards Study here. Should better get that one off unless he gets tricked. Looks like it won't. Prize gets dropped on the flank, and there we go. The wall's open. Ghetto making his way in towards site. Just gets the shot there onto Novak earlier, but he has the diffuser in hand. Not much in the way of coverage to try and get this plant down in the 3-on-4 scenario. Still looking like quite a favourable position. OJ, they're right on the door, could get the flank, but he actually gets shut down there. Ghetto gets his double, and now it's a winnable position potentially here as Ghetto gets a triple with the pistol. So it's a 2-on-2 now as Sphinx gets dropped by Silent. That ult is still in play and could cause a lot of issues here. But that plant still hasn't been executed in any way, shape or form. The intel is there on the Evil Eye, and wow, this round really is not going the way of Team 53. Such strong, powerful positions being held here by Monkey Business. Missed, just gets an easy kill as they push in towards Bar. He secures his double, and now Ham needs to try and get double. He has the gun to do it, but not the intel. And that close range is going to be at a real disadvantage with that ACOG in hand. He's just going to have to push him blindly towards site. Some intel from the Evil Eye as well could give his position away. He misses the initial shots there onto Mist. Can't get the kill as he lies on the floor, and Monkey Business take round number 4.
Yeah, look, it was almost absolute shining light of Ghetto Vet glory there as he got that triple kill, but it didn't work out, and Monkey Business just anchored in so well that Maestro's smoke position, especially the smoke playing in that bar, played that absolutely beautifully, and that lack of intel again really came back to bite Team 53. They were just completely unaware of those final positions on site, and they weren't able to get the execute completed. Another great round from Monkey Business. They're up 4-0 here, and I think especially going to the Trophy Statutory bomb site, it's going to be looking like they're going to be close to the match point at the end of their half.
Silent once again on the Maestro, and from my point of view, that looked like one of the critical sort of parts of the jigsaw there for Monkey Business defense. Those Evil Eyes were gathering so much intel at the end of that round that Ghetto had absolutely zero confidence to get the plant down, and rightly so. He would have been taken out really easily from the cross. And we saw this on Bank. Team 53 had that basement attack where, once again, the Evil Eyes were just causing havoc by giving away all this intel, and there was no counter to be able to take out those devices. So Team 53, unfortunate in the inefficient use of utility that round. Still not completely unwinnable. Maybe they could get a round or two here to try and give themselves a fighting chance, but as you said, Raven, if Monkey Business take this round, it's really not going to bode well for them, and Team 53 well and truly on the back foot if that's the case.
One thing I'm surprised that Monkey Business haven't done is brought more impacts on this site, because I think, again, just shutting down that master bedroom wall, if they stop that from getting open, I think absolutely that works in favor of the defense. There's not much else that the attackers can do without actually funneling through, or at least coming through doorways. So again, if Insider gets taken out, I believe he probably has impacts. He also has the only... Oh no, sorry, they brought the bandit this time, but he does have wall denial as well. So if Insider does get taken out, it definitely makes the attacker's job a lot easier. Still tricky though, because this roam has been so deadly, and we do see OJ just playing very comfortably again over there with, it looks like, the bandit off-site. So yeah, Team 53, they're going to have to try and get these opening picks, because it's just coming back to bite them when they don't.
Looks like Team 53 is still trying to gather some intel. Whether or not they'll be able to act on it, that's another story. We've seen their droning be relatively proficient so far on this map, but unable to really capitalize on any early picks, and it's just sort of a company that not much in the way of refrags either. We see teams at high levels of competition so proficient in refragging any kills on their side. Hamio gets missed, and there we go. Team 53 finally gets something going. No refrag there from the side of the defenders. As IQ now will spot out a lot of utility on that main wall. Johnson from below able to use his lifeline to try and take that out.
Bomb has been located.
Better use of utility here so far, Raven. We've seen it be a little bit lacking, but looks like they're trying to correct it here around number 5.
Yeah, look, this is a really good some really good teamwork to get this wall open, and it's definitely looking a little bit better for Team 53 here. But OJ is still in this room. He looks like he is finally starting to back off, though. There is still the bandit down there as well, so Team 53 potentially a little bit stuck in that kitchen dining. They don't have to aggress out, but this wall still has been a key issue, and started playing very comfortably in statue as the wall has not been opened. There's been some great teamwork to clear the utility, but potentially that thermite has lost both his charges, and if that wall cannot go open, it's definitely going to be difficult. But OJ missing some shots on the Thatcher there. He will survive. Insider gets a trade off site, so that's 3v4 in favor of the attackers, but 30 seconds to go. This execute's going to be a little bit messy.
With OJ off the board, it's definitely an attainable round. He's been so strong across 2 maps, but his anchors on site looking dangerous as well. Silent with such a good angle with the older, but he misses the initial shots as he crosses into Astro. Bad whiff there from Silent, and it could cost them the round. Sphinx gets inside her, and it's a 4v2, but there's not much time. If Business can try and deny the plant, they could win the round, but Hamio shuts down 1. Silent gets shut down as well. Team 53 finally, after 4 straight round losses, will get one back here and keep their hopes and dreams of some points alive.
Yeah, much better attack. They it's really funny because they actually teamed up really well to clear the utility on that wall, but they still couldn't get it open with that thermite. But I think it seemed to work out in favor of them, because instead of them thinking too much potentially about like what they're doing next, they were just like, okay, let's just push. And they pushed really well from split directions. That flank coming up from the red stairs while they pushed through to Astro really worked out well. Pinch Monkey Business. And yeah, I got to take it to Team 53. That was a great attack. Very similar again to the first map. We saw Monkey Business in complete control for most of the first half, and then Team 53 come back in these final rounds. So last chance to get around in this half. Do we see a 4-2 or a 5-1? It's going to be tight, but I'm still leaning towards Monkey Business.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Interestingly enough, Monkey Business actually heading to kitchen here. So they did lose the previous round, meaning that they could have gone back to statutory if they wished. Instead, they will go to this third preferred bomb site. They successfully defended it the first time around quite well, actually, so probably carrying some confidence across from that round. And why wouldn't you? If you're 4-1 up, you can take a little bit of a risk here and try and give yourself a massive lead heading into the attack, and give yourself every single opportunity to get maximum points here. Of course, a map win equates to 3 points on the standings. A draw is 1. If Team 53 lose here, they're going to go home with a total of 0 across 2 maps. And there's only a limited amount of time and a limited amount of points on offer here to try and qualify for those top 2 positions. And going 0 on the first play day really doesn't bode well for the rest of the season. And you basically have to have a near perfect end to the season to really be up there and be a fighting chance for those 2 spots.
Really not a whole lot of room for error, you're right. And that's something that Team 53 are going to have to face here. They're going to have to carry that into this map so they can at least try and secure themselves a point or more points if they do super well. But so far, this attack not progressing too far. That Mozzie being a bit of a pain on those drones upstairs. This roam being relatively effective so far. Again, it being a huge strong point of Monkey Business this entire series is their roam. Their roam has been so good with OJ, and then usually paired with the Legion, or we saw a Bandit last round. Johnster will get the opening frag though, and that's actually onto the Maestro. That's on site. Johnster with a bit of a cheeky peek through the pantry to get that anchor player. So, you know, it's a good start. This is definitely a round that Team 53 could get from this point forward, but you have to be careful of that upstairs, as the thermite is going to attempt to open that wall to help clear the roamers. Johnster maybe going back for seconds in the pantry.
This bottom floor has seen quite a bit of play so far, interestingly enough, as think that first thermite charge has actually been impact tricked here by the Legion, and potentially Team 53 have given up on that, or the thermite has run out of charges missed. He runs out of a C4 as he unsuccessfully tries to blow above, and Insider still having intel, could potentially get a pick here. I think he may have seen the shoulder there of the attacker, but it's not enough. This thermite will put out his second breach inside of Laundry. OJ gets one as Miss gets one as well, so it's a 3-on-4 scenario. Just over a minute left. Still potential here for Team 53 to bring it back, but we've seen time and time again when they're at that man disadvantage, Monkey Business run all over them. Just really utilize their aggression as best they can. Mist holding a critical door here in Laundry. He gets flashed out. Meanwhile, Hamyo gets OJ on the roam, so it's a 3-on-3. Ham is such a strong fragger with full HP. He could bring this one back. Sphinx gets dropped as well. So Hamyo in a powerful position. But these barricades from Monkey Business, interestingly enough, wasting a lot of time giving away sound cues as well. And 53 now pushing in a disjointed attack. Both members from different sides of the map. And looks like the Nomad will give up on that first push as Ham has gone above to try and clear out the roamer inside of bedroom. Still unaware of where they may exactly be as Insider will drop one. Ham almost getting the Legion. He will be successful and secure his double. 20 seconds left. Still time here on the board. He has the ACOG as well to vote well for him. The diffuser not in his hands, however. Looks like this round could well and truly go to Monkey Business. The defenders will take that round. Missed with the headshot. And once again, Team 53 at that man disadvantage, not looking comfortable whatsoever.
Yeah, Monkey Business is doing so good again to just shut down that push in. A little bit stronger from Team 53, but still Monkey Business coming out on top, securing that half 5-1, which is a very strong scoreline going into the next half. All Monkey Business need is one round and they secure themselves that draw and the single point, which is very crucial. As we've said many times leading into the season, there's not a whole lot of games and you need every point you can get. So Team 53, they've got a lot ahead of them. They need at least 5 rounds to secure that 1 point. So definitely going to be difficult for them. They will be picking Aviator Games Room for their first bomb site, commonly said as AVG. And look, I'm seeing some pretty good operators here. They've got the Mute Mozzie, which is a lot of intel denial. Something Monkey Business have used really well.
Yeah, Team 53, all-round disadvantage, and you have to pull something out of the bag here. They have brought that Allah. Bit of an interesting pick there, but quite sure that will be enough. As they just lacked confidence throughout both maps. And that scoreline probably not going to bode well for them. Sphinx trying to get this equalizer and will be successful to hold 90 eventually, and maybe that there summarizes a bit of the frustrations that 53 are experiencing. Just seems that whatever they try, Monkey Business have got an answer for it. And it's not really anything in the way of strategies or anything too crazy in that sense. It's just the ability to have the game sense to hold or push when required. And, well, it's paid dividends for them so far. And a very strong possibility they'll be jumping out of this Playday with 6 points, which is a massive start for them.
Also, the adaptation between the two different teams is definitely, you can see the different thought processes. So, for example, we see Monkey Business bringing the Buck, and that's something that we did not see Team 53 at all really utilizing, was vertical play, and that's something that's super strong on Villa. So to see Monkey Business bring the Buck shows that they're really thinking about how they're going to try and counter their opponents, and that's definitely something that's going to potentially rip apart Team 53 on site. This site, we said it before, it can be turtled quite easily. What counters that? The Buck does, that's for sure. And we're seeing a roam happening across the top floor, not vertically. Something that Monkey Business could really take advantage of if they're drawing this out.
I'm not sure if that debris is on the Jaeger's side here. If it is, it's very unlucky. It doesn't look like it the way he's peeking it, so could try and get one onto the study balcony as they try and progress on that side of the map. We've seen similar aggression from OJ on that Jaeger so far, as he's actually on the roam to try and could potentially clear out this Jaeger, but haven't been able to get that early pick that Monkey have been so renowned for so far. So halfway through the round, still 10 members left on the map, and this is going to really come down to who has the greatest synergy, who can work off each other and try and get these refrags, get these picks in towards the site. So we have to get the wall open silent with the diffuser in hand, and there's exothermic charges, of course, the only hard breach available to get that study wall open. Ghetto so critical in helping to deny that. He has the shield to aid him, but he could get pushed from behind if he's not careful. The repel coming out. It's looking like this is a pretty timid round so far. Neither team wanting to give an inch as they both play quite passive.
Yeah, it's under a minute to go now, and we're finally seeing some frags coming out, including a team kill onto OJ. It's unfortunate there for Monkey Business. It's a 4v4 now with 40 seconds to go. We just heard a wall open up, and that shield position that you talked about has been flushed out as the Thermite finds the pick onto Sphinx. And oh, a nice little pick there from the Jaeger picking out to the long hallway. So 3v3 with 30 seconds to go. Plant is going down from this Thermite, and they're not really aware of it. That Mute with a nice little C4, but not picking it up. Plant came off and Silent potentially should have stuck it. He's been taken out now as we see a trade to bring it to 2v2, but only 15 seconds to go. It's very tight here, and the Jaeger finds the next pick, so it's all up to Mist now as he enters site, but he's shut down, and Team 53 will find their first defense round win.
Not the most convincing defensive rounds here on AVG, but a round win nonetheless, and that will start to get the momentum rolling. If they had have lost that site, it would have been very hard to recover, as it is, of course, the primary bomb site. The secondary bomb site will be followed up, though. Statutory and Trophy. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Monkey Business try to approach this side. We could see them go for the bedroom push with that Soul Hard Breacher, but we could also see them go from that AVG side of the map. And I'm not sure about you, Raven, but from my point of view, I think that could be the play.
I agree. I think definitely opening the Master Wall is not going to be particularly easy. That being said, they are bringing the buck again, and the best way to counter that is just buck out that whole floor that's near it, so that you can't have wall denial or somebody with impacts play too close to it, make them have to play distance. But definitely, if you push across from that Aviator side towards the statue doorway, for example, you can potentially get a safer plant. It's a little bit difficult to cover without that wall open and without a Maverick or a Habana just to get a line of sight. Could still be a bit tricky, but it's definitely a safer option. I think a lot of it's going to come down to whether Monkey Business try to push this wall, and if they do, how did Team 53 trying to counter that? Because it's definitely an easy thing to shut down, if not read into well enough by the attackers.
Interestingly enough, Team 53 not opting to bring a pulse. We saw some pulse play come out from Monkey Business on this side to try and cause disruption from below. For the most part, it was quite successful in wasting time. Team 53 will not opt for that option. Instead, probably going to rely on the breach denial that they have inside of Statutory itself. So a little bit of a different play here, and I think that could well play into the hands of NB here. If they don't have to worry too much about that roam clear, they should be able to spearhead straight in towards bedroom if that's the push, or even go through that AVG side of the map. And I feel as if they could gain some significant map control quite early here, like they did on Bank. They're quite proficient there as well. So Team 53, I think they need to be quite cautious here.
Yeah, and the defense can just be very patient at this stage. They've got these roamers out and about, but looks like Monkey Business not too keen to push them. Mist will get the opening pick though, and that is on the Jaeger. Mist with a great start to this round for his team. Only a minute played, so good start so far. Team 53 just definitely trying to bide their time on site, because that is the key. They don't want to lose too many players early. And there's a lot of onus on the attackers to try and take this master side, which we're definitely seeing is what the attackers want to do.
Jaeger off the board, not the worst loss in terms of being able to deny this wall, but overall fragging power will now be hampered quite significantly. Keep harping on, keep thinking back to OJ. And that Jaeger has been so proficient with that carbine this evening, and seems like a bit of a loss for Team 53 to lose that so early. Must be mindful of that. Unfortunately though, Johnston gets one, but there we go, the quick refrag. This is what I like to see, Monkey Business ready and waiting there. Unfortunately, that Mozzie will be off the board as the ball gets open. Sphinx with a great shot into Silent, tries to pre-fire for the second, is unsuccessful. He has down that diffuser, maybe he has or has not seen it. Of course, no score notifications on these Pro League settings. He gets over aggressive and actually gets inside her and secures his double. That kill should not have gone his way. The wide swing works, and now Buck and Thatcher need to try and bring this one back.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a misplay there from Monkey Business. There's no way he's trying to trade with this mute, but the mute with the shotgun at close range really heavily favored. It's 2v1 now, all up to missed. Seems to be a bit of a misjudgment of timing coming out of Monkey Business. If that person on the red stairs had pushed up just a little bit earlier, that Maestro wouldn't have been able to peek so aggressively onto Master. But it is missed, 20 seconds to go, and it's the two SES operators versus a single SES operator here to finish it off. And some shots coming out, missed tag low. He's going to push deep, and he hasn't got diffuser though, so he can't plant. He's going to have to go for the frags. He finds the one onto mute. This could be doable here if he finds the smoke, but time really working against him and not finding it. So that's another round to Team 53.
Good discipline there at the end of the round for Team 53. Both had shotguns in the end, so they played that well to keep it close range and then run away when required. Maybe a little bit of aggression from the first defender. They're getting caught out by that Nomad charge, but the second one was quick to run off and miss. Really not left with a chance to win that round. We will be heading to Dining and Kitchen now, though, and I think this is going to be the telling round. This is going to be the one that makes or breaks their chances of winning or drawing this map. Dining and Kitchen, so hard to defend at times, and Team 53 not looking the strongest so far tonight. If they manage to win this round, though, they could potentially bring it back, and at that stage, they'll only be at a one-round deficit, so that starts to put the pressure back on Monkey Business, and they haven't really felt much pressure this evening, as Team 53 have struggled quite a bit, so if they do get this round, I can definitely see them winning this map.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing better than coming back to bring it just within 1 point, and I think that's definitely going to be a great uplifter for Team 53. Their motivation and just their general morale will definitely be feeling a lot better if they get this to 4-5. And likewise, on the other hand, Monkey Business, they're going to be getting a little bit frustrated. They can't just close this out. They can definitely taste it. Being on 5 points, it's so close. They're just going to be wanting to finish this. It's probably starting to get a little frustrating that Team 53 just won't quite die yet. So I think this is definitely could be a real turning point round if Team 53 were to take it.
Jackal being brought out from OJ this round. Probably a wise pick. He's running that C7E in particular. A really strong rifle. And OJ has been playing quite well so far. Should be able to gather a lot of these roamers' footprints. It doesn't look like there's an overly heavy roam. It looks like maybe 2 above in bedroom at the moment. A little bit hard to tell with these outlines. It looks like, yeah, it's 2 over at stat and bedroom at the moment. So the drones will go out, and OJ should be able to follow that up with some tracks as well. Jackal in quite a powerful sort of stage at the moment. His rework yet to be implemented into the game, where those footprints will be a little bit less powerful for the attackers. And teams will have to adapt to that. But for the meantime, OJ does have the opportunity to get some frags. He's actually in the PDW. Big clip and can spray down a lot of bullets to try and get kills. There's one on the red stairs to his right. Didn't seem to be aware of that position as drones are coming out. Buck with the nade, trying to get a frag here inside a stat, but he gets C4'd out. A great one there from Johnstar on the Mozzie, gets one. And Team 53, they have that man advantage, and they should be able to play off that.
Absolutely, and again, Monkey Business actually back against the wall right here. They're going to have to turn this round back in their favor. And oh, quick engagement there. Nice from Mist to secure another frag for his team. He's really starting to step up in this map. OJ using this Jackal to try and assist with this roam clear, and looks like they do now have this top 4 control. OJ will start making some holes to hold some angles and shut down the players on site. That Jaeger is still lurking very close. Bit of a threat that potentially Monkey Business not aware of. Looks like Sphinx also potentially off site. Around a minute to go, and Monkey Business are going to have to start trying to work site a little bit more so they can get ready for potential plant opportunity.
As you mentioned, that Jaeger in such a powerful position. Praz playing extremely patiently at the moment, and that could pay off. Comes around late. That will likely catch MB off guard here. And still opening holes above, not really holding flanks. Now could potentially be the time to go, but it seems to still be holding fast. OJ getting lit from below there, those holes being worked against him. I believe that was the Legion on the side. He's also low, so this is going to be hectic here. As Mist actually drops Praz now, so that roam has been completely shut down. Mist with 2 incredible kills this round, managing to bring this one back for his team. OJ with one onto Hamyo as well. So now it's a 2 versus 4. The tables have flipped against Team 53, and they need to try and hold this one out. Ghetto gets one. He's low on HP himself here and should be refragged, but he isn't quite yet. as that timer continues to tick down. It's a 3-on-2. Monkey Business needs to try and get towards side. A great drop there from Insider, manages to get one, and they just need to find the final one onto the Maestro. The diffuser isn't in hand though. They're going to have to try and go for the plant here and cover it. Insider, but they're left in a 1 versus 1. He can't get the kill, and Team 53, by the skin of their teeth, will take round number 9. Such a sketchy round, but that is a big momentum swing now.
Yeah, it really came down to that 1v1 engagement because the Legion was down. That Legion downed in a dramatic drop shot experience there, but that was really hairy for Team 53, but they managed to hold on. They've hit that 4-5 now, and we talked about maybe some frustration starting to sneak in for Monkey Business. I think, especially after the way that round went, because they had a 4-2 man advantage, I think definitely frustration is going to be creeping into them for this round.
Yeah, that was a very interesting round. It was well controlled by Team 53 above that verticality, but that sort of then was forfeited for that more horizontal push, particularly from Laundry, which almost paid off. I mean, it was so close at the very end there, and yeah, just a lot going on, and I think that really favors the teams that have that synergy, and in that instance, Team 53 finally coming out on top in one of those sort of synergy-esque moments, whereas previously they've been a little bit lacking. So to be able to execute that on Kitchen, I think, is a really nice confidence booster, and we could well see them take this map. Defending AVG here puts them in a really nice position, and I think for the first time in this matchup, it's probably safe to say that Monkey Business may well be on the back foot here.
I think definitely at this stage it's fair to say, and AVG didn't really go that well for Monkey Business last time, so they're going to have to pick it up and get some adaptations happening so they can get this round. They definitely do not want to let this get to 5-5. They don't want to let Team 53 have a sniff at all of at least 3 points, because that is definitely still an opportunity that Team 53 can capitalize on. Insider will find a Roma off-site there, but his drone's taken out and no follow-up, so that Roma will be able to rotate around. He's still on those red stairs, but unchallenged, so he can move back to site here. 2 attackers lit up in this engagements there, OJ and Nove on the bark, but he gets a nice frag onto Johnster. That's the Mozzie taken out, and that's a C4 below that is now off the table. And that will definitely assist Monkey Business as they start to push towards the top floor.
Have that man advantage now with a 3-speed operator off the board. This push just became a little bit easier, but they still only have that 1 hard breach. Silence so critical here. He needs to try and stay alive and get that wall open. But that Legion could well assist in denying that. He'll likely have impact grenades to try and deny that, and we saw that previously did pay dividends. We've seen it time and time again, really. So much just so hard to get off. Particularly on Villa, a lot of the hard breach walls have that ability to impact trick above, and makes it super tough to get those exothermic charges detonated. It looks like Silent will push into the study now and try and get that open as we eclipse the halfway point of the round. The Verson will go off here to try and open it and angle in towards the back of Bar, and could well go off here. It sounds like it has. Oh my goodness, a great shot there from Insider will take out Sphinx, and it's a 3-on-5. The wall is open, and Team 53 now exposed to a lot of angles. Ghetto almost getting the pick there onto the main door as Praise is getting lit up from study as well. So all these members have been forced into choke points. Monkey Business really should be able to convert this round as they all look very uneasy.
Definitely seems that way. Ghettovet will find the frag onto OJ. It's the Zofia off the board. They've still got some intel on side, and these defenders are able to move around. Ghettovet finally traded back by Nove. That's below on the buck. It's 2 defenders up. Jaeger is tagged up, so definitely still in favor of Monkey Business as we enter the final 40 seconds. Fuser is not on any of the attackers at the moment, so plant potentially not coming too soon. So they push through study. Looks like they're definitely going to try and strangle these defenders on side, but that's the Jaeger offside again, finding another pick onto Insider. All of a sudden it's 2v2, guys. This feels shades of last round.
Someone's going to go down to the Y here. They still need to collect the diffuser. They know there's a player close to the door here. It's Hamio with the shotgun, but he gets taken out. Nove gets his triple kill, and now it's left in a 1v2 scenario. Praz can't finish it off, and Monkey Business now will secure round number 10. They've got a decisive lead now, and unfortunately for Team 53, unable to hold arguably the easiest bomb site to defend.
Yeah, that looks scary, man. It looks scary for Monkey Business. I thought it was going to be them losing that man advantage and losing the round again, but they will finally take that match point. They can comfortably secure at least 1 point. And now it's a matter of just getting that final round to either secure 3 points or Team 53 getting 2 rounds to at least get a point here on their first night of Challenger League. They're going to go to Trophy Statutory, and that worked out pretty well for them last time.
Yeah, not looking to go back to AVG. They don't want to lose 2 rounds in a row here, of course, being on match point. So hopefully Trophy and Statutory can be a little bit more favourable for them. Once again, they're going to elect not to bring the Pulse, which I think is a little bit interesting. Maybe an oversight there. They do have the Mozzie to gather intel alongside the Valkyrie, so they could potentially use that, but it's so difficult to see from below relying on that intel. Either way, that's the approach they have decided to go for. They did that previously. It was successful, so definitely not all but over for Team 53 as Praz tries to get that Valkyrie trick onto the C4. There we go, finally got it bounced off the C4. It's under the bed now, and that's going to be incredibly difficult for those attackers to find. But Raven, what do you think we're going to see here? Do you think it's all but over for Team 53? Will they be heading home with no points today?
I actually think it's very doable. They could get at least 1 point here, but I think Monkey Business are definitely hungry to secure as many points as possible. They definitely probably favor themselves to challenge that top 2. I think they definitely think they can get top 3, top 4 kind of situation. So why not try to get max points early? And you would say these are the games that they need to win against an opponent that most people would say they should comfortably get these 6 points for. So they're definitely be fighting hard, and I think that's going to make it difficult for Team 53 to stop. But I think it's all going to come down to how Monkey Business shut down these players on site, because last time we didn't see that really work out too effectively. Some mistiming as they pinched, and they ended up just getting absolutely fragged out. So time for them to step up so they can finally secure this round in this map.
Almost 1 minute into the round now, no team getting either pick. And I feel like that falls into the favour of Team 53. Time and time again, we have seen Monkey Business with that man advantage, and they've capitalised in more cases than not. So if Team 53 can hold strong here and at least try and maintain an even man count, they should be in for a chance here. But a great peek from Ghetto will drop OJ, one of the top fraggers for tonight. Almost gets a second there on Denove on the buck below, but he will be unsuccessful and repositions from above. And it's a really nice pick, Raven, and could well jumpstart their resurgence.
Absolutely, and this nade could have been big. Does not quite hit the target. Also, definitely a massive pick through the rafters. As you said, OJ has been a bit of a star for his team, and oh, that's a really nice shot from the buck through the rafters. Sphinx's head just getting deleted, and that's going to change it back in favor, I think, of Monkey Business. That's a really strong operator that works so well for Team 53. Last time they defended this site, and they are going to not get that impact trick. This is big now. I think this is definitely Monkey Business taking all the room they need, and they just need to be careful of these aggressive picks.
Monkey Business is around to lose. We do see aggressive positioning from these defenders, but that over-aggression will cost Praz his life. Insider off the board. Ghetto still hard right of that entry there. Could potentially get a pick. Mozzie offside as well. If these members are spotted out, surely they will be pinched out quite easily here. Team 53 focusing a lot of efforts on this bedroom door. The flank coming out from Ghetto. It's a little bit slow. He gets one, but he gets immediately refragged. Not the worst result there for Monkey Business. Johnston getting Novax as well. So now it is a 2-on-2 scenario. If they go for the plane, it will effectively be 1 covering 2. Hamyo with that pixel is unsuccessful covering that door. The C4 from below, though, could potentially disrupt the plant. It's going to be unsuccessful there. Johnston doesn't quite get it, and Insider potentially sticking the diffuser. He will. Now it's a retake scenario for Team 53. Hamyo gets some early shots there and gets Insider off the board. It's now a 2-on-1 scenario, missed on low HP, and this is not looking favourable at all for Monkey Business. Definitely a winnable position for Team 53 if they capitalise. They need to play this smart, though. They're going to try and go for the early pick. Both peek at the same time. Missed. Almost getting the first there, but he's taken out. Counter defuse will come out now. Team 53 have plenty of time, and it's going to go down to the final round.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, that it is, and a good retake from Team 53 to flush out that final position. Hamyo coming through strong with that Jaeger, and it's all up to this round now, whether it's 1 point for Team 53 or 0. Monkey Business probably a bit a bit annoyed that they didn't quite get that final plant round. And look, it's down to the wire. They're going back to Aviator Games Room, which worked out relatively well for the attackers last time, but it was close, and this could definitely go either way, Guz. It's going to be hard to call.
Of course, if you're a little bit unfamiliar with the competitive rule set, this will be the last round. We'll either see Monkey Business take this with a 7-5 win, which will give them 3 full points, or if Team 53 win, it will finish on a 6-all draw, because these are independent map series. They are not best of 3s, so there is no overtime. Both teams will walk away with 1 point in that instance. So
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
definitely
by
an
attackers.
opportunity for Team 53 to salvage something from what has been a slightly underwhelming series so far. I mean, if you do look at the qualifier results, they are the 5th seed. They did finish 5th in those qualifiers, so you wouldn't really favour them finishing the top 2, but look, they've given it a crack. I get the impression that Monkey Business is just such a difficult team to play against as a comp lineup, because of how strangely they're playing in a competitive sense. They haven't really got much in the way of strategy, and that can be pretty difficult to play against sometimes.
5 seconds left.
I think Team 53 also just lacking a little bit of experience in the comp scene as a team. I think that's definitely something that we've seen come out a lot in how things have presented themselves in this match. But you got to give credit where credit's due. They've fought really hard on these defenses, and Monkey Business definitely haven't really had any free attacks, that's for sure. And you would definitely favor Monkey Business in terms of having a little bit more experience, and you could say notable names on their team. So Team 53 definitely showing up on Villa here. We expected a defender-sided matchup, and that's kind of what we got. So it's going to come down to how these attackers go. And as I say that, OJ finds that opening pick onto the Valkyries. That is a C4 that cannot be used from below or for denial in general. Still 2 offsite with that Jaeger and Mozzie.
Attackers have located a
This
bomb.
could be make or break on this room as they push up these red stairs.
OJ with a strong start in this series, a little bit quiet the last couple of rounds, but he goes off now. Unfortunately, the caster curse gets him. He's shut down by Johnstar on top of the red stairs, and it's now a 4-on-4 scenario. His position should surely be revealed, but he gets the second onto Insider, and just like that, Team 53 inching closer towards securing this draw. 3-on-4 scenario, plenty of time to play with here. They still have the Thatcher, they still have the hard breach as well, so they could potentially go for a back push, open up behind bar maybe even, or in towards the vault here. It looks like vault will be the player. Silent now, goes to open the wall. It's being held from the southern stairs at the peak. Not too aggressive. Novak needs to be careful of that angle being generated behind him, and that wall being opened is nice for the attackers, but they need to be mindful of any sort of rotation, any sort of flank that could potentially come out here. But it looks like Team 53, they're going to play pretty passive on side here, Raven.
Yeah, one thing that might come back to bite Team 53 is they've used their C4s now, and that means there's no real plant denial. So there's a real chance that if careful, Monkey Business could go for an execute if they hold those angles well enough. That nade is going to down the Legion, so that's a good start for this push. Sphinx does tag up that Thermite as he pushes deep, and he's actually looking at the head and doesn't realize he doesn't take the shot. It's going to be a hectic 45 seconds, and it's looking like it's an aggressive push here. They're going to probably just muscle it and go for frags. As we see Team 53 totaling, and they're quite spread out with a great crossfire here onto this vault door. It's going to be a big stall point here, and 30 seconds to go. All up to the attack.
Pretty equal control for both teams here in such strong position. Sphinx, though, with a great flick, manages to get one. Can he get the second on the cross? He misses, and Silent makes him pay for it. He's going to go for the plant now, and 53 need to try and deny it. Hamio's going to swing wide in study and could get the angle here if he's not covered properly. He just misses the shot into Silent. That would have been the round potentially, but it's not meant to be. Silent is eventually dropped, though. Now it's a 2-on-1 post-plant scenario. 53 going for a really quick counter defuse here. Miss gets one, though. He could go for the second. He goes for the pick, and he gets it. Monkey Business take round number 12. Missed going big there. One of the notable names on the roster, and just like that, Monkey Business going to go away with 6 big points, and wow, they've really shown that they deserve this spot, Raven.
Wow, that was a real hectic finish. Missed going big for his team in the end, and look, credit again where it's due. Team 53, they played really well in their defense halves. They looked pretty lost on the attack, but look at that, Missed going huge for his team. 15 kills on the Thatcher roll. Thatcher man's OP. But yeah, look, Monkey Business will secure 6 points tonight, and they're going to be really happy with that.
As we look through some of the replays of this matchup, definitely a lot closer than map number 1, which was Bank, and Team 53 putting up a little bit more of a fight, but I think Monkey Business just outclassed them a little bit here and there with that mechanical skill and that unpredictability, which Team 53 failed to adapt to. And yeah, it was an interesting matchup. I think Monkey Business definitely approached it differently to how at least I expected it. I was expecting a lot of over-aggression, and they really didn't do that. They were playing quite smart. OJ here in particular was a really strong roamer for his team, and I think Team 53 just played into their hands, and Monkey Business made them pay.
Definitely agree with that, and I think also Monkey Business, as we progress forward, they're only going to look stronger. They'll have more practice together. We've said it a lot on this broadcast tonight that they are probably the puggiest team on this Challenger League series, or season, I should say, because they literally just formed for the quals. OJ tweeted out about it was a bit of a meme that they even played them, and that the fact that they made Challenger League. So I think the more practice they get together, the probably more dangerous it's going to be. And I think they're definitely a team to look out towards the end of the season, that's for sure. And definitely against some of these bigger teams in Challenger League at the moment, so Homeless and Rhythm in particular, that could be the underdog challenges that those teams could drop points to, and that could really change how the season pans out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to sort of see how they play against those top tier teams. Team 53, a little bit harder of an indicator because they were that final team to qualify in the standings, of course, finishing just inside by 10 points. When they go up against sort of that those more experienced lineups, as you mentioned, Homeless and Rhythm being two big ones, that's going to be the real challenge, and it's going to be interesting to see if they sort of have that same confidence and whether or not they can transfer that over.
Absolutely. And I think, again, Team 53, also a new team, so give them some time, but there were definitely some good things from them tonight. Their defenses on Villa were great, and that last round, look, it could have gone either way. They had it in their grasps almost, but missed just a beautiful 2v1 situation. Team 53 had also, they could be deadly in the future given some practice. I think that's great about Challenger League, is that we really have 6 teams that all have some form of potential in one way or another.
Well, we will have a quick look at the standings now. Team Cryptic in that first position, closely followed by Monkey Business. So currently those two teams have qualified in inverted brackets for Pro League, but there's still a lot of matches to come, and anything really could change. Even teams like Read Migration, who have some pretty good potential there at the bottom of the leaderboard, definitely not down and out. They can definitely bring this one back. But any initial thoughts on these standings, Raven? Is that sort of what you expected heading into these early stages of the season?
Definitely hard to call at the early stage, because I think one thing in particular is that we saw Homeless and Rhythm play off against each other, which considered coming into this potentially the top 2 teams for Challenger League, maybe Team Cryptic up there being the team coming down from Pro League. So they played off against each other. So they're definitely not really like at their true point. I think seeing Team Cryptic up in the top 2, not a massive surprise. But yeah, Read My Aggression haven't had a whole lot of a chance against these other teams. And I think this will definitely change, in my opinion, throughout the season, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be very close at the top of these teams. It was really close last season. Homeless, formerly known as Acme, were just edged out in the end. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to the wire this season. All these teams very evenly matched, and on a good day, any of them really could qualify those top 2 positions. It really just depends if they have that consistency and have that ability to continue that momentum across, because this format definitely promotes teams that play well across an entire evening, which can go for a couple of hours. So the teams need to also have that stamina as well to be able to sort of continue that. But who knows? A long time to go yet. Still a couple of weeks. So these teams definitely have an opportunity to prove their worth.
And it's all about that warm up for Pro League. This is the entry into Pro League, and this is basically how a Pro League season plays out. It's a little bit more condensed with less teams, but this is how it is. It's a bit of a long slog. You have to be ready for some long series and some tough matches, and you have to be able to show up on those nights because it is 2 single best of ones, and there's a lot of points up for grab in a single night. So it's a big emphasis on the good teams making sure that they can show up every night.
Well, if you have just tuned in, that is the end of Playday number 2. Team 53 unfortunately going home with 0 points. Monkey Business taking away 6. They were successful on both Bank and Villa. Have full points to show for it, and now they're second in the standing. So the Pug team definitely showing up so far and proving that they are a real shot at entering Pro League. But before we finish off the broadcast, Raven, anything you'd like to say?
I think it's been a great competition so far for Challenger League. I think it's probably one of the closest Challenger League seasons for ANZ that we will see. I'm really excited for the rest of it, and yeah, keen to see these teams grind it out.
Well, that will conclude Playday number 2. We hope to see you all in Playday number 3. That's been it from me and Raven. Thanks once again, of course, to Monkey Fist Observing and Hawk Production. And we'll see you later.
Thank you. Oh my God.